Bullied Kid Prepares for Ice Age. Zhang Yi said, "Was my acting not convincing?" Chunlei replied, "Brother Zhang, you're good at acting, so good that it looks fake. Who's going to believe that you'll act out of goodwill and righteousness?" Zhang Yi responded, "Well, at least she knows she can count on me." Uncle Yu Jiguang said, "Nobody can blame you for this. Liang Yue is the only one connected to those kids. They don't even know how to survive on their own. Just useless bodies creating problems." Zhang Yi said, "Anyway, everyone here knew it and the defenses have already been set up. Now we only have confirmation of the incoming war." Lu Kairan asked, "But what will happen with Teacher Liang?" Zhang Yi said, "Xingxin Kairan, this is on you now. Go and convince her not to do anything stupid." A few moments later, in Teacher Liang Yue's room, she was cleaning her sword when Yang Xingxin and Lu Kairan entered. Teacher Liang Yue said, "Kairan, Xingxin." Yang Xingxin said, "Teacher Liang, is it better to die for them rather than live for us?" She then held her hand and continued, "We need you." Lu Kairan added, "We cannot live without you, Teacher Liang. Xingxin and I are just ordinary powerless girls in this apocalyptic world. We need your protection." Teacher Liang Yue said, "But I can't just stand here and do nothing while they die." Yang Xingxin said, "They are still alive, aren't they? They are alive because our brother treasures you and is willing to risk it all, just for you. Please don't be so reckless. We can still negotiate, just wait a bit longer." Teacher Liang Yue sighed. "There really doesn't seem to be another option left. I will wait." A few moments later, outside the room, Lu Kairan asked Yang Xingxin, "Hey Xingxin, does brother really love Teacher Liang?" Yang Xingxin replied, "Nah, I was just deceiving her. Her weakness is being too emotional, so I brought it up. Otherwise, how could we make her stay?" Lu Kairan said, "So clever. Then you must have something planned for her." Yang Xingxin said, "I'm doing this for her own good. It really would be a waste to let her die for such a trivial matter. Still, it's best for both of us if she stays. We know that brother Zhang Yi dislikes lazy women after all." Lu Kairan exclaimed, "Yikes, I have to prove myself worthy." On the sofa, Zhang Yi said, "Okay, got it, thanks. It should also be time for that to start acting." In another scene, Xiao Honglian said, "Those students said Zhang Yi has some superhumans with him. If we take them, we'll get even stronger." Zhu Qingting said, "Given their current situation, it's only a matter of time before they compromise. We have to get rid of Zhang Yi's forces swiftly. Otherwise, the other organizations may come." Xiao Honglian replied, "No need to rush. Let's gather more information before taking our next step. We're surrounded by more than one enemy. If we attack Zhang Yi, we'll be open to any intervention from the others. Our energetic resources are important to everyone." Zhu Qingting said, "But if we don't take this opportunity, someone else will get ahead of us." Xiao Honglian said, "It's better to be late than to risk it and die. I have to guarantee our base's safety." Zhu Qingting asked, "As you wish, madam. Then what should we do now?" Xiao Honglian said, "Well, he seems to care about those students. Let's give him a small push. Send someone to give them a beating, record it, and send it to Zhang Yi. Let's also not lose track of any possible intel they may have." Zhu Qingting said, "Yes, ma'am." A few moments later, Zhu Qingting said, "Let's start the show, dear guests." As the students became terrified, they were whipped by Zhu Qingting. A man taking a video said, "What the heck is wrong with this guy?" as he vomited green cotton candy. Zhu Qingting exclaimed, "He's poisoned. How the heck did this happen?" "We didn't give them anything like that." Zhu Qingting took out his phone and called Xiao Honglian, who asked, "Poison? What the heck? Can we save them?" Zhu Qingting said, "Our medics checked them, and the toxins in their bodies have been there too long. Before this cold started, with just some medicine, their lives could have been saved. Hold on." He realized and said, "Darn it. We've fallen into his trap. These darn kids we captured are just pawns in Zhang Yi's scheme to deplete his enemies." Xiao Honglian asked, "What do you mean?" Zhu Qingting explained. "These kids were slowly poisoned and then placed in a random spot in Shujia town. They used a satellite phone to get our attention. It was all planned out." Xiao Honglian said, "Then what would be his purpose? Deceive us with some poisoned kids? Or maybe Zhang Yi wants to kill them but can't do it himself. Quickly, record them before they die and send it to Zhang Yi. He may have poisoned them, but we can still use this." At the mansion, Yang Xingxin said, "Brother Zhang Yi, come here." In the control room, Zhu Qingting said, Zhang Yi, it's been a day. What's your answer? I'm here to send you a small gift to help you decide faster. Zhang Yi asked, are they still alive? Zhu Qingting replied, yes, but who knows how long they'll survive. Zhang Yi, our leader has changed his mind. These kids are a waste of our rice supplies, so we'll give them back to you for a ton of food each. Zhang Yi said, we can do that, but I need to make sure they're still alive. Zhang Yi said, I don't want to give my supplies and get some rancid corpses in return. Zhu Qingting responded, as you can see, they're still alive. Zhang Yi said, that was a recorded clip. I want to see them live. Put them on the screen now. If I can confirm they're alive, then you'll get your food. Zhu Qingting replied, our base doesn't play these kinds of tricks. They are useless and a waste of time. You don't need to worry about us killing them. Zhang Yi insisted, then just let me take a peek. Zhu Qingting said, Mr. Zhang, I do not feel any sincerity coming from your words. Zhang Yi muttered, they're sleeping forever. Yang Xingxin asked, big bro, how did you do it? Zhang Yi said, I painted their food green with my artistic skills. Yang Xingxin said, this is great, now they won't be holding anyone back. Zhang Yi added, give Liang Yu some preparation in the next 2 days. Don't let her think anything weird. Yang Xingxin suggested, brother, I think it will be more effective if you go instead of me. Zhang Yi asked, do you want me to enlighten her or something? Yang Xingxin replied, just use some sweet words, it would deal a nice blow. Zhang Yi said, looks like stupidity is contagious. By the way, this call is a secret between us. Yang Xingxin said, I know, bro. Not a word will come out of this Xingxin. In another scene, Zhu Qingting said to Xiao Honglian, we've lost our advantage now that they're sleeping forever. Xiao Honglian responded, then let's go to war. 2 days later, a new message was received by Yang Xingxin. Zhang Yi looked at the screen as Xiao Honglian said, Zhang Yi, this is just the beginning. An eye for an eye and blood for blood. Soon I'll have your heads hanging on my execution table at Yangsheng base. As Zhang Yi listened and drank his cup of ice water, he said, finally those kids are sleeping forever. Looks like a clean exit to me. Yang Xingxin said, yeah, it looks like the end. Zhang Yi asked, what's up? Didn't you hate those guys? They're sleeping forever now, but you don't look happy. Yang Xingxin said, I'm neither happy nor sad. I hated them from my heart. I wanted them to disappear, but looking at them like that still makes me feel just a bit sad. Because I'm worried that one day my head will be hanging like that. Zhang Yi thought to himself, I see. This is just normal. A young girl would be shocked to see such a thing, regardless of how mature she may be. He then hugged Yang Xingxin and said, do not worry. I will not let you die, my Xingxin. I can promise you that much. After all, I will not die. Yang Xingxin said, brother, I'm glad I have you here. She then cried and thought to herself, this Xingxin will not let you down. I will make myself worthy of you. Zhang Yi said, our next move should be to show this to everyone here. Yang Xingxin expressed concern, but I'm worried that teacher Liang would not be able to handle it. Zhang Yi said, calm down. I've already made some preparations, both mentally and physically. First, put this in her coffee. Make sure she drinks it. Yang Xingxin asked, what is this? Zhang Yi replied, it's an anti-anxiety drug. A few moments later, Zhang Yi addressed the girls. The scenes recorded in this video are tough to watch. Be prepared for it. He looked teacher Liang Yue in the eyes. Teacher Liang Yue thought to herself, this video was sent to us by Yangsheng base. Then is this about my students? Zhang Yi opened the 120-inch TV, and teacher Liang Yue saw the new Sleeping Forever pool movie. She thought to herself, are they all sleeping forever? She stood up in shock and said, they are sleeping forever. Dr. Zhou Care asked, Miss Liang, what's wrong? Yang Mi said, are you all right? Lu Karen asked, teacher Liang, are you okay? As teacher Liang Yue collapsed on the $1 million sofa, Zhang Yi said she's fine. I gave her a sleeping drug. She'll be fine after resting for a couple of hours. Uncle Yu Jiguang commented, Miss Liang is a kind soul who lives for her job. This may have been a direct blow to her soul. I do hope she doesn't try to act recklessly due to this. Zhang Yi carried teacher Liang Yue and said, only time and love can heal this kind of wound. A few moments later, in teacher Liang Yue's room, Zhang Yi instructed Yang Xingxin and Lu Kairan, take good care of her for the next 2 days. Help her recover from this. He then told Dr. Zhou Kier, give her some pain relievers to make her feel at ease and keep her in bed for a couple more days. Make sure she doesn't act recklessly. Dr. Joker responded, understood. Zhang Yi said, war is inevitable. I'm afraid they may come together with Zhao Yu, but two forces at the same time aren't too much pressure on our base. Let's leave it to our fortifications. If they manage to pass through, then we'll retreat to our shelter. Some days later, an old man from the cult walked in the snow. He stopped for a moment and looked at Zhang Yi's mansion. Using his powerful eyes, he observed the people inside and said to himself, what is this? There's a very powerful superhuman there. He could rival that person. Is he the right hand of God? He was the Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua. His superpower, energy perception, qi. He thought to himself, my ability allows me to see through people's lives and analyze the potential of everyone, categorizing those who have ability and those who do not. We've recruited many followers, but the aura of this superhuman is too deep. I must return and inform Her Highness and the High Priest. Zhang Yi's powers defy anything we've seen. He's too skilled. Yangsheng base office, an officer greeted, greetings boss, Wu Heron here, previous security manager of Zhanglong Company. I was part of the team that worked on building Zhang Yi's current mansion. I also worked on upgrading his apartment to a military-class shelter. Xiao Honglian asked, are you an acquaintance of his? Wu Heron replied, I wouldn't dare say so. It's more like a working relationship, but I do know about the place he lives in. Zhao Honglian said, oh, so, what kind of information do you have? This explains how they've been able to keep Shishan off for more than a month without any damage. If you built this place, it makes sense. Wu Heron added, Ishan base can't scratch that place, but us, we can break it. Boss, I'll oversee this. Xiao Honglian asked. Then, do you know that mansion's weakness? Wu Heron responded. As one of the most prestigious brands in the country, our Zhanglong company cannot do things that will damage our clients. However, we built that place. We know the materials used in the structure. If our big trucks can get close to it, we can cut through those walls. Xiao Honglian said, great. You're coming with us. If we're successful, you'll be promoted to team leader. Wu Heron replied, thanks, boss. Xiao Honglian added, there's still one thing I don't understand. It doesn't matter how strong a shelter is, with the right tools, it could be breached. Then why did Shishan base not progress if they had explosives? Are Zhang Yi and his company so strong that it's hard to get closer? There's a high chance that things will become difficult. Then let's drag other organizations into this mess. She took out her radio and continued, this way, not only will we share the risks, but we will also be able to avoid infiltration from the other organizations. Xiao Honglian called Wei Dinghai and said, this Zhang Yi guy is not simple. He faced Jishan base for a long time until he dealt the final blow. I guess we won't dare to fight him alone. So what do you say about teaming up? Wei Dinghai responded, if we're gonna throw a big party, then let's invite everyone. Let's take the other two organizations with us. Xiao Honglian said, looks like we're both thinking the same way. It will be easy with both of us asking for cooperation. I'll talk with Qingqin base. You can negotiate with the Snowflower cult, okay? Wei Dinghai agreed, I'm on it. We've been navigating for years, so their supplies are useless to us. But we do need more fuel. I hope you can provide us with some. At the Qingqin steel factory, a man took a piece of his bao bun, and two people, acting like dogs on chains, suddenly fought over the piece he threw to the floor. The man then said, Manager Liu, Manager Sun, you're so good at being dogs. I'm sorry I let you behave like humans in the past. Suddenly, a soldier approached and said, Boss, some women from Yangsheng base are looking for you. The boss said, oh, that Xiao Honglian is looking for me. What might she want? The soldier added, she said it was an urgent matter. The boss stepped down and said, gotcha, let's see what the fuss is about. Outside, a girl was playing in the snow with her huge wolf. As the boss arrived with his soldier, the girl ran towards him saying, Daddy, as the wolf howled. The boss carried the girl and said, didn't I tell you? Do not go outside in this cold. If you really have to go outside, always wear a scarf and a cap. The girl said, but it isn't too cold today. It's also pretty hot inside the steel factory. The boss replied, if you get sick, I will not be treating you with kindness. He then put her down and said, go and play with Lele for now. She talked to the wolf and said, Daddy has some adult things to talk about. Lele, this one is number 1 and this one is number 2. Lele responded with a series of barks. Woof, woof, woof. In Qingqin base office, an officer said, Boss, they've been waiting for you for quite some time. He sat on his chair and said to Xiao Honglian, look at you. waiting all day on the other side. Sorry, I had some stuff to do. Tell me, what do you want? Xiao Honglian said, Ishan base was destroyed. Where does your Qingshan base stand regarding this? He responded, you may not be interested in it since it's about the northeastern part of Xishan district borders. Well, that place is pretty big anyway, so the best thing would be to talk about how to divide it. Xiao Honglian said, do not worry, that's the easy part. We've got a problem related to it though. There's a strong organization located near Xishan base. If we don't take them out, we'll run into danger when we try to claim it. Both Wei Dinghai and my men were wiped out by him. He said, is there really someone that powerful in Tianhai City? Can he really afford to destroy Xishan base and attack us at the same time? Xiao Honglian said, this is the truth. We've done our research and found that they are a small elite group with many superhumans of considerable power. They are backed by a shelter comparable to a military stronghold, one that even Xishan base couldn't withstand. He responded, if they are that strong, then we can't simply rush in and attack. If we go into unknown territory, we may lose 30% of our people before even starting the fight, Xiao Honglian replied. That's why we're asking you to join us. Zhao Yu base has already agreed. We will attack together once you give your word. If the three of us agree, then the Snowflower cult will have to do the same. Our 4 organizations will then proceed to deplete him, and afterward, we can divide Xishan and Lujiang district. What do you say? He asked. Was that war started because of this? If so, how can we penetrate their defenses when Xishan base couldn't? Zhao Honglian explained, I have people who worked on building his shelter. We know a way to demolish his defenses. He said, give me some time to think about this. Also, send me the information on the shelter. Xiao Honglian agreed. Okay, take your time. You will profit a lot from this. Don't worry. The call ended and a new file was received. He opened the file and in shock he muttered, what, Zhang Yi, this can't be a coincidence, right? In another scene at the Snowflower cult, Yuan Kongyi said, what did you say? The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, bowed deeply and said, oh my lord, I am your loyal follower, so I beg you to believe my words. Inside that mysterious sanctuary, there is a man with such power that it puts him on equal footing with you. He may be the right hand of God, sent to help us achieve greater heights. Yuan Kongye replied, I see. Thank you for your hard work. Go and take a rest. The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, bowed again and took his leave. Yuan Kongye turned to Zheng Yixian and said, things have to change now. Zheng Yixian responded, it looks like everyone underestimated Zhang Yi and his team. If that's the case, then even if the 4 of us team up, we won't be able to beat him. But if we do team up with him, it would be a marvelous opportunity. Meanwhile, at Zhang Yi's sofa, his phone alerted him. Zhang Yi looked at it and said, huh? He received a new message. He picked up his phone and thought to himself, is this Xing Weinan? How long has it been since we graduated? Is he alive? Amazing. It seems like he still has some tricks up his sleeve. The message was from Xing Weinan. Long time no see, mate. Zhang Yi replied, yo, everything's going fine here. How about you? Xing Weinan responded, ha ha ha. It's really you. I can't believe you've managed to survive this far and become so strong. Me? I'm doing fine for myself. I'm the director of Tianhai Steel Factory. That sounds fancy, right? Zhang Yi thought to himself, Xing Weinan is now in charge of the biggest Xingchen factory, the biggest steel factory in Tianhai City? He then asked, so now you're the boss there? Xing Weinan replied, typing is such a pain in the ass. You know I'm not fond of these good manners. Let's use our mouths. Zhang Yi called him and asked, wasn't some guy named Xing Tian the boss at Qingchen base? Did you get a new name or something? Xing Weinan chuckled and said, you got me. I changed my name to Xing Tian as it sounds more intimidating. Zhang Yi just agreed with his friend, thinking, an ordinary guy just managed to get new skills and power to reach for the sky, then changed his name to gain some confidence boost. He then asked, so, tell me, what can I do for you? I don't think you would just contact me out of the blue. Xing Weinan said, well, I just wanted to get in touch. Remember the old days when you used to get all the girls and always scored the highest grades? I couldn't be as good as you were. Life is indeed mysterious. Who would have thought that you'd rise so meteorically? It's so good to hear about you now, my old friend. Zhang Yi said, well, we can reminisce about the past later. Let's cut the crap. Tell me, what are you aiming for? Xing Weinan replied, okay, let's get to business. I know that you killed some people from Yangsheng and Zhao Yu base. They are coming for you. They even want my Qingshin base in the Snowflower cult to join. If the four of us team up, you'd have a really bad time. Zhang Yi was shocked and said, all four organizations? That would be too troublesome. Zhang Yi then asked, so is this a war declaration? Xing Weinan replied, war declaration. Mate, if I really wanted to fight you, I wouldn't be talking to you. My first intention was to catch up with you, and then I wanted to discuss a cooperative relationship given our history. Zhang Yi said, interesting, tell me more. Jing Weinan continued, we have no grudges between us. I do not want to join this battle, but you must give us something. As long as you provide us with 10 tons of food, we will stay out of this. Zhang Yi, in shock, repeated, 10 tons? He then thought to himself, that's the word of a scoundrel. Well, to be fair, 10 tons are just a few stacks in my storage room. Does he think this amount is so valuable? Zhang Yi said, that's a lot of food. Give me some time to think about it. Xing Weinan replied, okay, I'll give you 1 day to think about it. Give me an answer tomorrow before noon. Zhang Yi responded, got it, that's all for now. As the call ended, Zhang Yi relaxed on his luxurious couch and mused to himself, I can offer him those things we grabbed from Shishan base. Oh, there are also those cans in Wang Siming storage. Those are heavy and filled with soup. Now the thing is, can I really trust him? I can pay him half in advance to test his performance. Once I'm satisfied, I can give him the rest. Let's get ready for a hard battle. Only by showing our strength can we truly achieve peace. A few moments later, they gathered and Yang Xingxin said, this is not as bad as I initially thought. The four organizations may be working together, but they do not trust each other, and there's only 2 bases that have a grudge against us, Yangsheng and Zhaoyu. Qingshin and the Snowflower cult are behaving like bystanders. Uncle Yu Jiguang said, our team is pretty small, and that is our main weakness. It would be hard to divide our forces against that many opponents. Zhang Yi said, do not worry, we can trust our fortification for their first wave. Our surroundings are also good. Behind us, there are 2 mountains, which is a natural wall by itself, and the paths are covered in snow. It is unlikely that they will go for our rear guard. This means that we will have to concentrate on defending our front. From this point, we should cover a rotation of 120 degrees. Our main goal is to resist and make them flee. We do not need to win this war. Then I will call for a truce and negotiate with them to make our territory off limits. Chunlei asked, even with all 3 of them attacking, it will be too much pressure. I expect them to break our defenses quickly, so we will have to retreat fast. Our strongest defenses are the shelter and your dimensional gates, Brother Zhang. There's going to be a lot of people attacking at the same time. What if they have the methods to break through? They do have enough energetic resources to make a big incursion with heavy machinery. They could even have many superhumans with them. Zhang Yi said, don't worry about these things. If anything happens, I'll take care of it. Suddenly, Huahua noticed someone in the snow and said, meow. Zhang Yi said to himself, someone's approaching us. And he looks outside and saw a man standing. He then took out his golden desert eagle, and Huahua rides on his shoulder and he said, excuse me, I must check something. He took out his huge binoculars and looked in the balcony. And he said to himself, walking outside in this cold weather? This old guy can't be someone simple. Zhang Yi said, this guy must be a foreigner. I can't tell where he's from. Uncle Yu Jiguang was shocked and said, I know this guy. He's a snowflower cultist from the Yuelu community. Dr. Zhou said, what may the snowflower cult want with us? Uncle Yu Jiguang said, these guys have always been at odds with the other organizations in Tianhai City. Yang Xingxin said, if we want to instigate animosity between them, the snowflower cult may be our best tool. Zhang Yi said, I don't like cults though. Yang Xingxin said, I know. Let's just contact them to see if they can be of any use to us. Zhang Yi said to Chunlei, hey you fatty, go over there and bring your microphone. Turn it on, and I will tell you what to say. Chunlei said, but Brother Zhang, I'm the weakest here. I don't think I'm fit for this role. Zhang Yi said, dude, your superpower ability gives you an edge over others in the snow. We will also support you from here. Nobody will touch you. Zhang Yi said, if he dares to do something, I'll send him to Jesus. Chunlei said, gotcha, gotcha. Zhang Yi said, now go over there. Make sure he does not discover our plans. Chunlei suddenly said to the Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, stop right there. The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua said, sir, this humble one is Zhao Jinhua, Archduke of the Snowflower cult. You are not Mr. Zhang Yi, are you? Zhang Yi said to himself. So this guy came for me. Uncle Yu Jiguang said this guy must have some sort of superpower ability to read people's energy. He wanted to see me once, but I turned him down. He was the one who helped Zhang Li awaken his superpower ability. Zhang Yi said in conjunction with the Snowflower cult leader's superpower ability, blessing, this guy's superpower ability can be very useful. Zhang Yi said to Chunlei, ask him why he wants to see me. Chunlei said to the Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, our boss is not someone that anyone can approach. If you have any messages for him, you can speak now. He's listening to us. The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, said to himself, how could someone be this cautious? He does not even want to know me. The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, said, my master has ordered me to bring an important message to Sir Zhang Yi. In 3 days, Yangsheng, Zhaoyu, and Qingshan will team up to attack your sanctuary. How dare those murderers instigate war to try to attack such a beautiful home? They even tried to ask our Lord to attack you. We, the Snowflower cult, have always been reciting the message of love and peace of our God. We do not agree with their proposal. Thus, we wish to team up with Sir Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi said, here it is, just as I expected. He then thought to himself, all 4 forces are not really on the same page. How could the team be unified? If there's something to gain, they will sell their loyalty at any time. The more divided they are, the easier it will be to win this war. Chunlei said, basically, you will retreat from this operation that is targeting us. The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua replied, that wouldn't be a team-up. As ambassadors of love and peace, we are willing to join you against those evil forces. Just like His Excellency Zhang Yi, we do not have any backing, so the others fear our rise. We have been oppressed by those same people. Now is the right time to team up and resist them together. Zhang Yi then said to Chunlei, ask the Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua, what are you willing to do to earn my trust? The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua responded, our Highness knows that His Excellency is a cautious person. Therefore, we are willing to show our sincerity with this. What I have brought is a sacred relic of our Snowflower cult. Once you see it, you will understand. This right here is our sacred relic, the Snow Spirit. Chunlei asked, Snow Spirit? What is this? The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua explained, this powerful relic has one function. It helps someone awaken their true potential as a human, helping them become superhuman. If used on superhumans, they will become even stronger. Your Excellency has been in Tianhai City for quite a while. You should have heard about this, right? Zhang Yi said, such a good thing cannot exist without having negative effects. Old man, tell Fatty the truth. The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua replied, our Snow Spirit is a sacred relic without negative effects. Previously, all 4 main organizations of Tianhai asked us for it. Zhang Yi, shocked, asked, what, have the other 4 bases used it? He then looked at Yang Xingxin and said, Xingxin, collect all the information you can. Yang Xingxin said, there really is a log about this. Among the first superhumans released at Shishan base, 2 did awaken their powers using the Snow Spirit. It is due to this method that they decided to research human modification. According to their research, this Snow Spirit acts like one's body cell. Zhang Yi asked, are there any negative effects? Yang Xingxin replied, according to these logs, all 4 bases asked the Snowflower cult for Snow Spirits to create new superhumans. They did not find any dangerous substances, nor were they being controlled through those cells. The reason the Snowflower cult has grown so much is because of the space they earned in exchange for the Snow Spirit. Zhang Yi thought to himself, if this is the truth, then we will be gaining something big. Turning someone into a superhuman without having to experience life or death situations? Does such a thing really exist? He then said, ask him if ordinary people can use it. Zhang Yi thought again, I don't believe such a thing exists without secondary effects. The Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, answered, the effects depend on the potential of each person. We have tried it before, and with some exceptions, it will be okay for ordinary people. That's why it is better to use it on superhumans. Chunlei asked, are you not worried that I'll reject your proposal after you give us this? The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua said, it does not matter what we do, the other forces will team up and attack you. Therefore, even if we do not reach an agreement, if you become stronger and end up killing enough of our enemies, it will still benefit us greatly. Chunlei thought to himself, old man, you thought things through this far. Zhang Yi said, got it. You want us to weaken them, but how do you intend to do it? The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua replied, when the time comes, we will act as if we are teaming with them. This means that we will put in minimal effort to simulate an attack around your surroundings. Once they show weakness, we will stab them in the back. Zhang Yi thought to himself, so, you want to reap the benefits, huh? I feel as if someone is slapping me in the face, making me overwork. Zhang Yi then said, okay, if your snow spirit works, we will accept your proposal. The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua responded, I'm sure you won't regret this. Your Excellency, we have shown you our sincerity. Shouldn't you give us some respect as well? Zhang Yi replied, we are about to face our toughest fight. What more would you want? The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua clarified, don't misunderstand us. We only want you to allow our Snowflower cult to preach in your surroundings. It is our wish to spread the words of our snow god. Zhang Yi thought to himself, this sounds like some missionary business. He said, if we can get through this, we will honor your proposal. The Snowflower cult's great master Zhao Jinhua replied, we will await the good news from your excellency. Zhang Yi thought to himself, right now, Qingchen base is neutral to us, so they may not be a threat. And the Snowflower cult wants to betray them. This is indeed interesting. A few moments later, Chunlei asked, boss, what do we do with this thing? Zhang Yi said, don't worry, come to the door. Zhang Yi then suddenly put the box in his secret dimension. He thought to himself, there does not seem to be any foreign object or element inside. Chunlei immediately ran towards the house. Zhang Yi opened the box and said, is this the famous snow spirit? Could it be that this snow spirit is the key to unlocking people's superpower abilities? You must be kidding me. There's no way something that good exists. It would be fine if they used it at the 4 bases. The main issue is that those guys used it on Jianli. This post-apocalyptic world is designed for the strong. Then, who would be so kind as to help someone who could be a potential threat in the future? A few moments later, inside the living room, he said to himself, with 2 of these, I have a chance to create 2 superhumans. It's hard not to give in to temptation. Suddenly, he looked around, and the girls looked at him. He said to himself in confusion, Yang Mi asked, Zhang Yi, do you want to use them? Zhang Yi replied, as you know, this thing can help people awaken as superhumans. It was used by the other 4 bases, and I haven't found any negative effects. But I don't trust them. I don't think the moon is made of cheese. I want you to think carefully. If I use these 2, the first one to use it will become my guinea pig. He silently looked around. Yang Mi said, I volunteer for this. Dr. Zhou Keir and Zhou Haimei raised their hands as well. Zhang Yi said, your will is the strongest here. I'll give one to you. Yang Mi suddenly hugged Zhang Yi and said, amazing, thanks Zhang Yi, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, as she pressed her body against Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi said, fool, my love for you is as deep as the ocean. Who else would I care for if not you? And he thought to himself, I'm going to test such a strange object, so it has to be on someone expendable. The fact that she volunteered makes it even easier. A few moments later, Zhang Yi said, let's review our battle plan now. Let's dismiss the chance that Qingchen base and the Snowflower cult will side with us. We cannot trust anyone. There's always a chance of betrayal. We must be prepared to fight all 4 of them. But if things turn out well for us, then let's make this place a living hell for the others. A few moments later, at the laboratory, Zhang Yi played with the glowing spheres, while Yang Mi was restrained on the bed. He suddenly placed the glowing sphere on Yang Mi's forehead. Tentacles appeared as it merged with her, spreading across her head, and suddenly she fainted. Zhang Yi said, take care of Yang Mi for me. To avoid any casualties, give her a sedative and pain relievers. Dr. Zhou Keir replied, yes, I will do as you wish. Zhang Yi said, you fool of a woman. Did you think I didn't use the snow spirit on you because I care more about her? It's the opposite, actually. I worry about the negative effects it could have on you. Dr. Zhou Keir said, I see, then you care for me the most. Zhang Yi replied, never trust outsiders. That could be lethal in the world we're living in. Keir, you're our most important resource, a doctor. You are already invaluable, while Yang Mi still needs to prove her worth. Dr. Zhou Keir said, I understand. Zhang Yi thought to himself, Please be a good girl and don't overthink this. A few moments later, in Zhang Yi's room, Zhang Yi talked to Xing Weinan. Xing Weinan asked, "So Zhang Yi, have you made up your mind?" Zhang Yi answered, "Yes, we can work together, but I want you to do something different." Xing Weinan said, "Oh, you want us to team up?" Zhang Yi replied, "I'll give you double what you requested, but you'll have to come to this fight." Oh, Xing Weinan responded, "Me? Helping you? That's not possible. Our Qingchen base has never confronted anyone, nor those guys at the same time. I do not want to fight you." Zhang Yi said, "Hold your horses. I don't want you to fight. Just be there and simulate attacking me." Xing Weinan asked, "So, you want me to play a charade? Zhang Yi, what are you scheming?" Zhang Yi answered, "Do not worry about it. We hold no grudges between us. If you play along, I will give you double the food you asked for. Do you accept this request?" Xing Weinan thought to himself, "There's no reason to reject this. I'm only worried about his goals, but if all we have to do is play along then." Xing Weinan then said, "Ha ha ha, there's no reason to say no to such a good proposal, but first, show your sincerity by giving us the goodies." Thinking it through, he added to himself, "There's nothing to lose for me. This is a sweet deal." Zhang Yi said, "I'll give you a third of it. The rest will be given after completing the task." Xing Weinan replied, "It's a deal then. Tomorrow at 2:30 in the afternoon, we will do the exchange at Shishan base." Zhang Yi said, "Deal," and put down his phone. Zhang Yi then said, "Things look good. We have reached an alliance with the Snowflower cult and Qingchen base, but they may stab us at any time. If that happens, we'll face all four forces. In the worst-case scenario, we will have to abandon this place and live underground, developing better defenses. But that's only if things go that far. If we get to that point, I'll make sure they regret it with many losses." Suddenly, Dr. Zhou Keir knocked on the door and said, Zhang Yi, Yang Mi has started to change." Zhang Yi went outside and replied, "Let's take a look." A few moments later, Yang Mi panted on the bed. She said, "Zhang Yi, I've done it." Zhang Yi thought to himself, since Wawa didn't detect anything wrong, she must be fine. Am I being too paranoid? The four bases have used it. Could it be that this has no negative effects? Zhang Yi asked, "How are you feeling, Yang Mi? Do you know the superpower ability you've awakened?" Yang Mi tried to feel it and said, laughing, "Ha ha ha, it looks like I'm only useful for house chores. My ability is called Banquet, and it allows me to make food that helps people recover their energy to use their superpowers again. It's just some support, trash-like ability. I guess that's due to me not being a good fighter." She felt sad. Zhang Yi said, "Hey, this is an amazing ability. We no longer need to worry about using our skills in a fight. Keir, release her. Tomorrow, show us your newfound power." Yang Mi nodded and said, "Yes, I'll do it." Zhang Yi thought to himself, that old man was right. The efficiency changes based on its target. Yang Mi's potential reaches only this much, so her ability is that of support, just like Jian Li. The next day, Zhang Yi said to Xing Weinan, "Mate, let's change the location to Shujia Town in Lujiang District. Come right now to pick up your supplies." Xing Weinan asked, "At your territory?" Zhang Yi responded, "I'm the one who's going to get attacked, not you. There's nothing wrong with that, unless you have some bad intentions, right?" Xing Weinan said, "Gotcha, we'll meet at Shujia Town." A few hours later at Shujia Town, Zhang Yi arrived with his Hummer. Suddenly, Lele and the wolf pack ran toward them, arriving with the daughter of Xing Weinan and Lele. Suddenly, Wawa hissed, and Lele howled. The girl said, "Lele, don't howl." Xing Weinan laughed and said, "Ha ha ha ha, long time no see, old friend. I can't believe this would be the scenario of our re-encounter after 10 years. Zhang Yi replied, "Yeah, if this were any other moment, we'd be having a good drink at a table. It looks like you're doing fine. You become a good catch at Tianhai City." Xing Weinan responded, "Who would have thought that this Xing Wei would have turned out like this, right?" Xing Weinan's men started to gather all the food in their sleds. Xing Weinan said, "Zhang Yi, don't feel bad about this. It will be worth the shot." Zhang Yi asked, "Do you remember when I got into that fight with the guys from the next class?" Xing Weinan said, "That's true. I remember there were many guys stalking Fan Xing'an, but it turns out she had always been in love with you." Zhang Yi recalled, "The 5 of them attacked me first. I knew I couldn't do it in a level situation, but then I caught up with the big fish and broke his teeth. I've given you food, so I hope you honor our agreement. Otherwise, you will know why those who betray me are not with us anymore." When the time comes, we'll see who's the one to fall first. Hopefully, the Qingchen base stays alive in Tianhai City. Xing Weinan said, Ha, Zhang Yi, you're seriously underestimating me, aren't you? Let me tell you, the way I've survived in this world is by upholding one thing, loyalty. Anyway, just wait and see when the time comes. Zhang Yi said, Of course, that would be best for both of us. I don't want to keep killing my old buddies. They immediately ran back to their base. Zhang Yi said, Let's get ready for the fight. Uncle Yu Jiguang said, I'm only worried about his wolves. If they come at us, we may end up losing. Zhang Yi reassured him, Nah, they won't dare. Even after 10 years, Xing Weinan is the same old pal. Those who just awaken their ability won't dare to risk their superpower against me. After tasting success, they prefer doing nothing while harvesting goodies. Of course, there's still the chance of him betraying us, but we'll plan with that in mind. They went back to their mansion. A few hours later in the kitchen, Yang Mi said, Zhang Yi, I have learned how to control my ability. Take a bite of my food. Zhang Yi said, Wow, look at you, girl, being so capable. Zhang Yi took off his shirt to show off his dad bod and said, It seems like everyone here has tried Chef Yang's food. Lu Karan said, Yes, Miss Yang's food is delicious. It also seems to have some magic power that makes you feel energized after eating it. It also boosts your morale. Zhang Yi thought to himself, Whoa, so her superpower is not only useful for superhumans but also for common people. This is too good. Zhang Yi suddenly looked at teacher Liang Yu and asked Yang Mi, Is Miss Liang dissatisfied with your food? Yang Mi said, I don't think so. My food calms your mind and makes you feel better. It purifies you of any negative agents in your body. Come on, Zhang Yi, take a bite. Zhang Yi acted cautiously and said, Yummy, this smells so good. He then gave a spoonful to Hua, who was standing behind him. As Hua started to lick it, Zhang Yi thought to himself, It seems to be okay. He then tried it, and his eyes widened. So good, he exclaimed, as Hua tried to tap him for another bite. A few moments later, Zhang Yi asked, Yang Mi, will the effects of your food vanish with time? Yang Mi replied, I haven't tested it yet, but I can confirm that freshly made meals taste better. From now on, you're in total charge of our food, Zhang Yi decided. You will prepare supplies in large quantities, and I'll take care of storing them. Try to make energetic bars, as they will be more convenient. He thought to himself, if I put Yang Mi's food in my dimensional storage, I should, in theory, be able to conserve its effects. We'll have endless energy and endurance this way. The next day, Xiao Honglian asked, Are all the men in their positions? A soldier replied, Reporting to our boss, everyone is in their respective positions. Zhu Qingting commented, This morning, when we left, a flag fell. Stop it with the superstitions, Xiao Honglian dismissed. It's not about that, Zhu Qingting clarified. I'm just a bit worried, and my concern grows with time. Since the end of the world, this is the first large-scale war. This might change the future of our Yangsheng base. Xiao Honglian scoffed. There are fewer than 10 people in a small shelter. What could they pull off? Besides, we're teaming up with every force here. Eliminating them will be a piece of cake. Do not worry. There won't be any casualties. There's no force in Tianhai City that can withstand our full charge. I'm worried about them. They are not to be trusted, Zhu Qingting insisted. Xiao Honglian laughed. Ha ha ha. I don't trust them either. They're scum that would turn against us when they have the chance. I know this because we're the same. Who doesn't enjoy bullying the weak? In terms of sheer force, there's no chance we'll be losing. You're overthinking it. After we win, I'll treat you to a drink, and you'll enjoy the pleasures of victory. I guess you're right, Zhu Qingting conceded. At the shelter, Zhang Yi spoke to Xing Weinan over the phone. So they will start at 1400 hours? I see. A few moments later, outside the shelter, Zhang Yi, teacher Liang Yue, Uncle Yu Jiguang, Chunlei, and Hua prepared for the upcoming battle. Zhang Yi called out, Liang Yu, take this. He handed over her old sword. I'm only lending you this. I'm not a martial artist, so I can't fight directly. I'll use my dimensional gate and sniper skills to support from the rear guard. We will support you at full capacity, so feel free to fight as you please. Teacher Liang Yue responded, Yes. Zhang Yi returned to the mansion and said, Care, be ready to treat our injured ones. Yang Mi, Go and take a rest, then prepare as much food as possible to help us recover our energy. Xingxin, our firepower will be in your control. It has many different outputs, so it may be hard for others to handle. There's a chance we have allies among them, so fire at discretion, following my orders. Yang Xingxin blushed. Ah, finally, I can kill enemies with my own hands. Zhang Yi, look at me, please. I will be your best support. Zhang Yi declared, now everyone be on your guard. The enemy may come at any time. There's no need to be nervous. This battle will either be done quickly or prolonged, so if you're tense, things could go wrong. Zhang Yi walked upstairs to the balcony and said to himself, this spot is perfect for sniping. He took out his 50 caliber silenced extended sniper rifle and positioned himself, taking out 2 boxes of 50 caliber immaterial bullets. He then addressed Friday. Open the window in front of me, artificial intelligence. He thought to himself, there are only 2 things left to do. First, kill as many of these bastards as possible before the battle starts. Second, use the dimensional gate as a support skill for those fighting in direct contact with the enemies. When these 2 tasks are completed, it will be the right time to send everyone back to the shelter. Then I will abandon this position. Suddenly, he saw multiple vehicles approaching. Zhang Yi spoke into the comms. Attention, everyone. The enemy has appeared about 5 kilometers from here. The vehicles resembled those from Mad Max, advancing towards them through the snow. Wei Dinghai commented, it looks like the others haven't arrived yet. Make good use of the terrain so that our artillery is well positioned to shoot at the shelter. His red-haired friend added, using ice as his defense core is a smart move, but it will all be worthless. It can't stand against our firepower, and that is also favorable to you. They won't see it coming. Wei Dinghai confidently declared, this won't even be a fight. The outcome has already been decided. But I'm kind of interested in the people there. If they're not dead by then, I would consider taking them to work for us, the redhead said. Such an honor. Suddenly, a soldier prepared to attack the wall of ice, but was struck in the head and fell, never to awaken again. Enemy fire! Shouted another soldier, only to meet the same fate. Wei Dinghai yelled, everyone on guard, look out for the enemy. The soldiers scrambled to take cover behind their vehicles. One soldier hid behind the supposedly indestructible Toyota Hilux, but even there, he was struck and put to sleep forever as bullets whizzed around them. What the heck is going on? One soldier exclaimed, looking at his comrade. There's a sniper. Spot him and take him out, another shouted. He looked through his scope, but there was nothing. Where did that bullet come from? What's going on? Why can't we find the sniper? Where is he? Just then, he too was hit, put to sleep forever. This bastard is using my men to train his shooting, Wei Dinghai growled, using his powers to create a fog of ice around them. Zhang Yi observed from a distance. Oh, an ice superhuman. It looks similar to Fatty's ability. Let's see how much longer you can keep this up. I doubt you'll just stand still. Come on, show me a weakness, that's all it would take. Meanwhile, Wei Dinghai was thinking to himself, this snow is just a temporary fix. It'll make it harder to see from a distance, but we're still far from the mansion. Turning to Chen Jingguan, he said, our top priority is finding the sniper. Chen Jingguan assessed the situation and said, judging by his shooting line, he must be over there, which means those bullets are coming from inside the shelter. Wei Dinghai was stunned. That's more than 3 kilometers away. How is it possible for him to kill so many of us that easily? If we keep pushing, we'll just die. He repeated this concern to Chen Jingguan, who immediately radioed, retreat. As they retreated, the supposedly indestructible Hilux was hit, and one of its tires flew off. The car broke down. What should I do? Chen Jingguan panicked. Don't leave us here. Save us. We'll be easy targets once the fog fades away. Slow down and get those soldiers moving, Wei Dinghai ordered. The soldiers scrambled out of the Hilux and began to flee, but bullets rained upon them. As they tried to reach the other Hilux, a French soldier muttered, darn it, our armor is too weak against these antimatter bullets. They took cover behind the Hilux, but one of their friends was struck in the back of the head, put to sleep forever. Wei Dinghai yelled over the radio, get the heck out of here. Forget the injured ones, they won't make it out anyway. Chen Jingguan urged, more people will die if we don't move. It's time to go. He jumped onto the Porsche, then leaped to the Hilux, using his powers to grow. A bullet struck the top of the Hilux. Light, R. Even if my superpower can nullify most physical attacks, it still hurts like heck. As Zhang Yi continued firing, he muttered to himself, Oh, I guess they'll wait for the others to come and launch an all-out attack. It doesn't matter. Whoever comes will meet my baby. Chunlei asked over the radio. Zhang Yi, what's the situation? I took out about a dozen of them. They've retreated for now. They might be waiting for reinforcements, Zhang Yi replied. A dozen? Dang, boss, you're too strong, Chunlei cheered. Zhang Yi stretched his arms. What's so good about it? This is just basic. Sniping and defense are my strong points. If they get past me, I'm counting on you. If things get too intense, I can use my superpower to take down some superhumans. We'll see if they can get through your shooting, Chunlei said confidently. A few moments later, Wei Dinghai turned to a soldier and asked, Did we lose too many men? Not only that, the soldier responded, but one of our vehicles got destroyed, and 3 others suffered significant damage, so we had to abandon them. How the heck did this happen? Wei Dinghai fumed. Our luck is terrible. Zhang Yi has a superhuman this powerful? It makes no sense. He thought to himself, does this mean that an epsilon superhuman has appeared in Tianhai City? There must be some sort of weakness in this guy, he muttered. It doesn't matter how much you train, perfection is impossible. His direct combat skills might be weak. Once we enter the shelter, let's aim for the blind spots to avoid his bullets. His Chen Jingguan advised, Boss, this sniper is too frightening. We shouldn't attack head on. Let's take a different approach. A different approach? Wei Dinghai asked. This is a good spot for attacking, Chen Jingguan said. There's plenty of cover that can help us against the sniper. Wei Dinghai said, Good idea, but let's not rush. First, we have to find a spot to hide. Then Chen Jingguan said, Hiding? What's the use of it if we've already been found? Wei Dinghai responded, We can't be the only ones suffering the sniper's rage. Let them feel what it's like to be the prey. Suddenly, bullets rained down upon Xiao Honglian's team. A soldier was shot in the arm inside his vehicle and cried out, Ah! My hand! My hand! Xiao Honglian shouted, Quick! Find that darn sniper and kill him. I'm tired of being shot at in a place like this. Suddenly, a wolfman appeared and intercepted a bullet, deflecting it with his claw. Zhang Yi said to himself, Oh, finally, a strong foe appears. The wolfman was shocked and thought to himself, It came from that far away. Zhang Yi put another magazine in his sniper and fired at the wolfman again, but the wolfman deflected it once more. Zhang Yi suddenly rained down bullets, but the wolfman blocked them all, thinking to himself, Even with my superpower, it's too much to handle alone. He heard something behind him and thought, Looks like preparations are completed. The artillery suddenly loaded and fired towards Zhang Yi. As it approached, Zhang Yi used his secret space and said to himself, Oh, explosives! Now this is interesting. The missile entered the dimensional space. A soldier commented, A defective missile? Suddenly he took a bullet to the chest and exclaimed, Argh! Another soldier encouraged his friend, Keep it up, keep attacking, as their other friend rested forever. Suddenly, multiple artilleries fired at Zhang Yi, all approaching Zhang Yi's mansion, but they disappeared suddenly. Then the artillery shots fired back at them. A soldier shouted, Not good. The wolfman said, I got this, as he tried to deflect them all, but an explosion occurred near them. The wolfman landed, blood coming out of his mouth. Xiao Honglian ordered her team, retreat, as the soldiers threw multiple smoke grenades. The area began to fill with smoke. Zhang Yi said, Why leave so soon? I guess I've got to treat my guests properly. He suddenly rained down multiple bullets on them as Xiao Honglian watched the onslaught. Xiao Honglian said, A very skilled sniper and a guy that can bounce back missiles. Well, we can't say for sure if they're 2 separate people. Still, those skills are scary. It now makes sense for them to be able to endure Zishan's attacks for a whole month. Zhu Qingting asked, Boss, what should be our next step? A full frontal attack can break their defenses, but we're still 7 kilometers away from the mansion. Xiao Honglian replied, Let's hold our position. Best case scenario, the other forces will push and gather his attention for us to attack. Zhu Qingting responded, Got it. I'll tell them to hold their positions. Xiao Honglian then asked, Hey, Wei Dinghai, where are you now? Wei Dinghai replied to Xiao Honglian, We'll be there in a minute. And you? Xiao Honglian answered, We are yet to arrive. It's a long way there, so we may be the last ones to come. We'll be there soon. Xiao Honglian and Wei Dinghai thought to themselves, Hurry up and taste the sniper bullets. Zhang Yi said, Leaving after losing just a few men? What could they be planning now? Chunlei suggested, Boss, If you get the chance, you should kill the superhuman first. It would alleviate some pressure on us. Zhang Yi replied, I can try, but don't count on it. Those who have survived are from the reinforcement and beast types. To them, shooting weapons are nothing. You should also know that only a slightly weaker opponent allows me to double my force. I have to let them know of my ability to repel their missiles so they won't use them. This way, our fortification should last longer. It's hard to get through 10-meter thick ice walls. Now, who's next? Suddenly, he looked through his scope and saw the cult approaching. Oh, the snow cult. Let's not waste bullets there. Not counting Qingchen, all the bases are here now. Uncle Yu Jiguang asked, weren't they our allies? If they attack us, should we kill them? Zhang Yi responded, if they come too close, we'll kill them. Uncle Yu Jiguang said, got it. That makes things easier. He then took off the covers of his new toys. Zhong Yixian said, if Zhang Yi and his men can withstand their attacks, we will stab them while they're tired. However, if they aren't able to resist, we will break our alliance and team up with the other bases. Suddenly, Xing Weinan and his team arrived as Xing Weinan smiled. Zhang Yi looked at Xing Weinan and said, oh, that's them. Ignore them. They probably just went over there to pass some time. Zhang Yi then announced, the enemy is in sight. Be prepared. As Xiao Honglian and Wei Dinghai approached the wall with their vehicles, the foot soldiers charged toward the wall as well. Zhang Yi shouted, now! Yang Xingxin suddenly pressed the red button, and multiple Gatling guns pierced through the ice wall. They immediately started shooting at all moving enemies. Xiao Honglian's and Zhu Jiqingting's vehicles exploded. Zheng Yixian was shocked and exclaimed, artillery and machine guns? Where did this guy get them? Xiao Honglian muttered to herself, Shishan base. They were the only ones who had access to such weapons in Tianhai City. Could it be that they looted it from them? How did they manage that? She spoke into her radio. Spread out and fire back immediately. This wall is made of ice. Blow it up and we'll get through. We'll win once we reach the inner shelter. Amidst the chaos, Xing Weinan watched the battle from a distance and said, I've been wondering how Zhang Yi could stand against all these organizations simultaneously, but it turns out he's been hiding such a masterpiece. He then commanded, brothers, start shooting to make some noise. Make sure not to hit anyone. A soldier asked, leader, are we being watched? Xing Weinan smacked the soldier and retorted, you dumb, just follow my orders and remember, don't hurt anyone. This Xing Weinan is a man of his word. When two men agree on something over a drink, it's set in stone. We will not take advantage of this. We'll only act if Zhang Yi is defeated by the other organizations. As flames engulfed the battlefield, Xiao Honglian shouted, we can't keep this up. We underestimated their firepower. Wei Dinghai added, we'll have to work together to break their defenses. Xiao Honglian nodded. Most of their firepower should be here, and they have only a few men. If we break through this, we'll gain the advantage. Wei Dinghai responded, cover me. I'll handle this. Got it. Xiao Honglian affirmed. Xiao Honglian instructed her team, stop firing and join with Zhao Yu base to coordinate our attacks against the shelter. Wei Dinghai suited up and jumped out of his Porsche. He dove into the snow and began to swim beneath it, then suddenly emerged to deliver an uppercut to the ice wall, shattering it. Uncle Yu Jiguang and Chunlei were stunned as the ice wall crumbled. What? Wei Dinghai stood there silently and declared, when it comes to snow and ice, I am the king. He then shouted to his soldiers, move forward, as they charged in. Wei Dinghai touched the ice wall, breaking it apart. Zhang Yi thought to himself, Wei Dinghai's superpower is much stronger than Fatty's. He then ordered his team take action. Wei Dinghai suddenly noticed something and dodged a slash. It was teacher Liang Yu. As Wei Dinghai dropped and rolled on the ground, he exclaimed, how dare you cut my frost armor? Wei Dinghai melted into the snow, and teacher Liang Yue shouted, Fatty now! Chunlei suddenly made Wei Dinghai levitate within the snow, and Wei Dinghai jumped out. Teacher Liang Yue swiftly attacked, slashing his chest. Wei Dinghai thought, who would have thought Zhang Yi had such a skilled swordswoman? It doesn't matter, I've accomplished my goal, and leapt away. Suddenly, soldiers began climbing over the shattered boulders of ice. Teacher Liang Yue charged at them, and Chunlei warned, Miss Liang, don't be too reckless. Zhang Yi instructed, you two, keep your distance and let her handle this. The real danger is behind them. They're sending in superhumans as well, be careful. Xia Honglian took a swig of her alcohol and spat flames at the ice wall, causing it to melt. Victory will be ours. Let's go, she shouted as the wolfmen and the soldiers charged forward. Chunlei used his powers to rebuild the ice wall, while Hua screamed loudly at the approaching enemies. As the soldiers felt intense pain in their ears, Uncle Yujiguang suddenly arrived, looking like a Terminator. He aimed his Gatling gun at the incoming enemies and unleashed a storm of bullets upon them. Meanwhile, teacher Liang Yue wielded her sword, cutting down the soldiers in her path. Suddenly, she was attacked, but she managed to block the incoming slash. The wolfman transformed into a cat-like figure and sneered, "Do you think it's okay to use my men as cannon fodder?" Teacher Liang Yue's aura intensified, her eyes glowing fiercely. The catman grinned and licked his lips, saying, "This is interesting." He crouched, preparing to strike, while teacher Liang Yu readied herself. With lightning speed, the catman charged at her, but she swiftly countered, slicing off his hands. The catman's face twisted in shock. In a blur of movement, she severed his other limbs, and the catman collapsed into the snow. In another scene, Uncle Yujiguang's weapon overheated as a rubber man, Chen Jingguan, approached him. Chen wrapped his rubber-like arms around Uncle Yujiguang, who struggled to break free. "Even sniper bullets won't get through my body," Chen Jingguan taunted. "Do you still want to escape?" Suddenly, Wawa let out a deafening scream, and Chen Jingguan's eardrums exploded. "This freaking cat," he muttered to himself in disbelief. Seizing the opportunity, Uncle Yujiguang grabbed Chen Jingguan. Zhang Yi called out, "Everyone, retreat back to the shelter. That includes you, Liang Yu. You can't take revenge alone. Come back to your senses." Teacher Liang Yuo picked up the head of the catman, glancing at the soldiers staring at her. Without a word, she turned and ran, and the team retreated to the mansion. From a distance, Zheng Yi Xian and his cult observed the scene. Zhang Yi said, "Still watching, huh? Xin Xin, turn all our firepower on the snowflower cult. Fire a single round." Yang Xingxin nodded. "Yes, sir." Bullets rained upon the cult, and they cried out in pain. Zheng Yi Xian activated his shield. "Zhang Yi, you bastard, it doesn't matter. It's almost time." He addressed his followers, "Listen to me. Let's march toward the shelter." They began to run toward the mansion, and smoke grenades soon enveloped the area, shrouding the mansion in thick smoke. Uncle Yu Jiguang turned to Zhang Yi, asking, "What should we do now? Abandon this building and live underground?" "There's no need to rush," Zhang Yi replied calmly. "Our defenses aren't that easy to take down." Then he noticed something in the smoke and muttered to himself, "Looks like they found a way." A bulldozer appeared, moving toward the building. Zhang Yi instructed, "You, head to the lower floor and wait for me." He pulled out several boxes of grenades. "Taste this," he yelled, throwing the grenades toward the attackers. "Did you really think you'd win by breaking our fortification? Such fools." As the grenades exploded, Zhang Yi smirked. "The inner shelter is my biggest advantage," he declared, continuing to lob grenades at the enemy. Despite the explosions, the bulldozer pressed forward. "Wu Weiren, is that him?" Zhang Yi realized. "That explains their confidence in attacking me." Chen Jingguan appeared, blocking the grenades and bouncing them back as they detonated. Chen Jingguan, lieutenant of Zhaoyu Base. Superpower, Rubber Man. The bulldozer reached the mansion's side and began piercing its walls, causing significant damage. Xiao Honglian commanded, "Spread out and obstruct his vision." Friday, the AI system warned, "Danger. The shelter walls are suffering from high temperature cuts. Damage taken, 0.001%. Zhang Yi cursed under his breath. "Continuous cuts. Wu Huiren is a real pain." "Friday," he asked, "how long before the walls give in?" "At this rate, it will take 1 hour and 29 minutes, Friday reported. Teacher Liang Yue, Uncle Yu Jiguang, and Chunlei felt the vibrations inside. Chunlei asked, "Boss, should we escape?" "Hold on," Zhang Yi replied. "We can stay a bit longer." Zhao Honglian and Wei Dinghai thought to themselves, "We're almost there. We've suffered so much for this, but getting Zhang Yi's supplies will make it all worth it." Suddenly, a cultist with dynamite strapped to his body rushed at Xiao Honglian's men. He grabbed 2 soldiers and an explosion followed. Xiao Honglian shouted, "What just happened? Where did that explosion come from?" Wei Dinghai replied in panic, "It's them. Those crazy maniacs from the Snowflower cult. They have explosives and plan to kill us all. What are they thinking? How dare they?" Xiao Honglian fumed. At that moment, Zheng Yixian arrived, burning Xiao Honglian and Wei Dinghai's vehicles. He smirked and hurled their other vehicles at them. They managed to deflect the attack, but Zhong Yixian laughed maniacally. Ha ha ha, Xiao Honglian Wei Dinghai. This is your payback. You can burn in hell. Tianhai City isn't your domain anymore. Zhang Yi watched the chaos from a distance, a smile forming on his face. Now we can sit back and enjoy the show, he muttered. Inside the shelter, Zhang Yi's team quickly ate the food prepared by Yang Mi to replenish their energy. Then, they opened the main door and charged back into the fight. From afar, Jing Weinan peered through his fake telescope, wondering aloud, why is the snowflower cult betraying us? What? Did Zhang Yi make an alliance with them from the start? Lucky me, he thought with a grin. I've made a fortune just by chilling here. With them fighting, won't my Qingchen base be the strongest organization in Tianhai City? As Uncle Yu Jiguang and Chun Lei fought the incoming enemies, Teacher Liang Yue and Hua Hua cut through the soldiers. Zhang Yi, using his powerful eyes, muttered to himself, there. He focused on a superhuman in the distance and, with a mere glance, made his head pop off. Xiao Honglian shouted, that scoundrel Xingtian is ghosting us. Wei Dinghai added, that traitor might have betrayed us. Retreat. The other three organizations are conspiring against us. We have to save ourselves. Zhao Honglian commanded her soldiers, then whispered to herself, this can't be. Why are the Snowflower cult and Qingchen base cooperating with Zhang Yi? Xiao Honglian ordered, let's retreat. Taking a swig of alcohol, she spat fire at the cultists. But soon exhaustion overcame her, and they began to flee. Get out of my way, she screamed at anyone in her path. As they retreated, Wu Huiren suddenly climbed out of his bulldozer and yelled, they're gone. Who's going to cover for me now? Just then a shot rang out and he fell, forever asleep in the snow. Zhang Yi stepped forward, saying calmly, leaving without my consent? Zhong Yixian shouted joyously, victory is ours. Zhang Yi observed the celebrating cultists and muttered, these cultists are too dangerous. They'll become a major threat in the future. They don't fear death, so it's pointless to risk my men trying to kill them. Turning to Xing Weinan, Zhang Yi said, you may come now to pick up the rest of the food. Xing Weinan responded, hold on, buddy. There's something we've got to handle first. Confused, Zhang Yi stepped outside and addressed his men. Well done, everyone. We won. Placing a hand on Teacher Liang Yue's shoulder, he said, it's over now. You've avenged your students, she gasped, collapsing in shock. Startled, Zhang Yi caught her and muttered, this woman is such a stubborn fighter. As he carried her to the shelter, he thought, she went all out, and only by chance is she still alive. Inside, he called out, Care, prepare for surgery. Laying her on the bed, Dr. Joker said, hang in there, Miss Liang, as she began cutting through her coat. Moments later, Zhang Yi stepped outside and addressed the cultists. The war is over. You can leave now. From this point on, Xishan base belongs to me. You're not allowed to come without my permission. Zheng Yixian replied, thank you, Your Eminence, for helping us win this war. As per our agreement, only our missionaries will come to this land. We hope that in the future, the Snowflower cult and Your Eminence can coexist peacefully. Sure thing. After all, I'm a pacifist, Zhang Yi replied with a smirk. As the cultist walked away, he thought, the Snowflower cult had slow development due to restrictions from the other organizations. Now that they're free, how big will they become? I may have created a bigger monster, but I had no choice. He mused further. 3 of their superhumans are now lifeless shells. How did this happen? Did someone absorb them? With the fight going on, it's impossible for anyone to have consumed them. Let's recover them first, Zhang Yi decided, then told his team, it's time to rest. Hua leaped onto Zhang Yi's shoulder for a ride and he smiled. Who's a good boy? Look at you, covered in blood. Let's get some well-deserved rest. Outside, Wei Dinghai punched the door of his Porsche, seething. The Snowflower cult in Xingtian, those backstabbers betrayed us. Xiao Honglian replied, how much did Zhang Yi pay them to betray us? Don't be reckless, Wei Dinghai warned. She questioned. Xingtian didn't attack us. They simply took advantage of the situation by not getting involved. They asked for favors and stayed out of the fight. If they're offered good benefits while staying safe, they'll be content, Wei Dinghai explained. But what about our agreement? Their neutrality cost us dearly, Xiao Honglian protested. We've both lost a lot. Do you think it's wise to attack Xingtian now? It's best to avoid him for now, Wei Dinghai cautioned. Suddenly, they sensed someone approaching. Riding Lele, Xingtian called out, Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, where are you rushing off to? You didn't honor our agreement, Xingtian. Why are you here now? Xiao Honglian demanded. I just want a small fee for passing this road. You two are wealthy and powerful. This won't hurt your finances, Xingqian said with a grin. Wei Dinghai retorted, I don't understand you, Xingqian. If we teamed up to attack Zhang Yi, we could have shared the Xishan and Lujiang areas. So why did you stay out of it? Did you know about Zhang Yi's power from the start? Xingqian replied, well, our Qingqian base doesn't have as many vehicles or energy resources as you do. Even if we won, we couldn't challenge you when negotiating the division of these lands. That's why I accepted Zhang Yi's proposal for 10 tons of food. Now, let's discuss your passage fee. How much are you willing to pay? Back at the mansion, Zhang Yi laid out a spread of delicious food and beverages, announcing, we all worked so hard today, we've earned the right to celebrate. Eat as much as you want. And they all feasted. At the infirmary, Zhang Yi brought in a tray filled with air, as Dr. Zhou Keir said. The surgery has been a success. Suddenly, the empty tray was filled with his favorite burger, and Zhang Yi asked, so how is she now? Was her injury serious? Dr. Zhou Keir replied, she had deep cuts, but I treated them. She's a superhuman, so her body heals better than ours. She will be fine soon. Superhumans are so lucky. They have it easy, Zhang Yi teased, then added, but in emergencies, you're the most important. You save our lives, and pinched her soft cheeks. At the cult's church, Yuan Kongye waited for Zhang Yixian and the others to arrive. Zhang Yixian said, my lord, it is an honor. With God's blessings, we have achieved victory. Those thieves from Zhaoyu and Yangsheng have been severely injured. They are no longer a threat to us. Yuan Kongye's face lit up with joy. She then said to Zhang Yixian, thank you, Archpriest. Our gods will never forget your deeds. Zhang Yixian added, we have lost many of our brothers though, including 2 of our priests, Lin Fei and Meng Ziyuan. They aren't gone. I can feel their souls inside me, Yuan Kongye said. May the Lord be with each of them and with us, Zhang Yixian replied. Now, nothing will stop us from spreading our snow god's words to every single place in Tianhai City. I pray that this world knows and accepts our snow god as the only true god. May his glory be with us forever, Yuan Kongye declared. A follower chimed in, the snow flower cult shall live forever. 1 week later, the ladies played mahjong, while Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu Jiguang played Chinese chess, and Lu Karan and Chun Lei played on an Xbox. Suddenly, teacher Liang Yue came into the living room, and Chun Lei asked, Miss Liang, are you feeling better? She looked sad and walked away. Don't worry, Lu Karan said. Miss Liang has been like that lately. Zhang Yi said, she had a sudden change of attitude. Let her be for now, there's no problem with her. Both Yangsheng and Zhaoyu should have suffered enough damage. They won't make any moves for now. Qingqian base has gained an advantage over them, and the snowflower cult is free to preach in Tianhai City. This is our victory. We won't have any worries for now. Zhang Yi paused, looking outside. Isn't this strange? Isn't this place too clean? He muttered to himself. What's happening? Yesterday, it was infested with dead bodies. Did someone take care of them? He wondered aloud as he used his binoculars. They aren't buried by the snow. It looks like they truly have disappeared. There's so much we don't know about this new world, Zhang Yi thought. If the living can mutate, can the dead as well? Zhang Yi suited up, and Zhou Haimei asked, are you going out? Zhang Yi unlocked the 30 locks of the main door and said, yes, don't worry about it. I just need to verify something outside. He walked out with his pistol, studying the footprints. There are only leaving traces. Does this mean that those bodies got up and left by themselves? Suddenly, he felt a shock and looked behind. What am I afraid of? He said to himself. I've killed many living people. What can the dead do to me? I can't see the end of it, nor do I know where the corpses went, Zhang Yi mused. A few moments later, he returned to the mansion and addressed everyone. Please listen to me carefully. Take a deep breath, and do not fear what I'm about to say. Yesterday, 1,000 corpses disappeared from outside the shelter. I've checked their footprints, and the most viable option is that they walked away by themselves. Dr. Zhou Keir exclaimed, Zhang Yi, please don't make these kinds of jokes. This is too scary. Chun Lei added, Boss, did you gather those corpses in your outer space to play a joke on us? I didn't want to believe it either, Zhang Yi replied, but you can see the truth for yourselves. Everyone, let's eat first. Then those who can fight will follow me. I've located the direction the footprints lead to. If we follow it, we will find more clues. As you wish, Dr. Joker agreed. They went outside, using the Hummer to follow the footprints of 3 people. They found a huge hole and walked toward it, looking down. Chunlei said, "What in the heck is this? Why are the corpses gathering here?" Uncle Yuji Guang suggested, "Maybe there is a superhuman who can control the corpses?" "That would be too scary," Teacher Liang Yu replied. "A superhuman that can control thousands of bodies that can travel long distances. Is this some sort of zombie crisis?" Chunlei asked. "I wish that was the case," Zhang Yi replied. "Zombies aren't dangerous to us. Also, at these low temperatures, those corpses should have been frozen already. How is it possible for them to walk like normal people?" Uncle Yuji Guang looked around and said, "This seems familiar, like some sort of station." Suddenly, his eyes widened. "I know where we are. This place is Jia Garden in Sik. To be precise, this is the Sik metro station." "Got it," Zhang Yi said. "Then these corpses did enter through the tunnel of the metro station. If that's true, then there's something controlling them," Teacher Liang Yue remarked. "What should we do now, Zhang Yi?" Uncle Yuji Guang asked. "If someone can control dead bodies, then he's got an army of over 1,000 men. If someone like that becomes our enemy, then it's going to be tough." Zhang Yi replied, "Let's leave them alone for now. We don't have any animosity between us." Zhang Yi said, "In the future, let's keep our distance from this place." Teacher Liang Yue asked, "Then should we leave this unknown thing here?" Zhang Yi replied, "Yes, just leave it. If something goes wrong, I won't have to deal with it." At Yuelu neighborhood, Li Jian bowed to the Snowflower cult's great master, Zhao Jinhua, and said, "Greetings to the minister." The great master Zhao Jinhua responded, "Li Jian, it seems you have been making good use of the power bestowed upon you by God." Li Jian said, "May the snow god be praised. I'm grateful to the great master for bestowing this blessing upon me. Thanks to it, we have survived this long." The great master Zhao Jinhua smiled and said, "I bring more good news. Our master has granted you permission to join us in Tianfeng district. You and your family will now live with us and the other followers." Li Jian asked, "Tianfeng district?" Zhao Jinhua reassured him, "Fear nothing. The Snowflower cult lives in a place that can be considered a paradise in these times. It is a utopic virgin territory, and only the chosen may enter. You have been handpicked by us, and our priest Jian Li admires your skills. They are essential for our survival. If you and your family move in, you will be well taken care of." Li Jian knelt to the ground and exclaimed, "Bless the snow god. Bless the great master. I, Jian Li, am in your debt and will offer my life for the well-being of the Snowflower cult." The great master Zhao Jinhua said, "Rise. Take your belongings and follow me to the Snowflower cult's land." A few moments later, at the Snowflower cult region, Zhao Jinhua called out, "Jian Li, come here. Our lord wishes to meet you." Li Jian asked, "What about my wife and child?" Zhao Jinhua replied, "Do not worry, they will be taken care of." Jian Li's wife said, "It is an honor to be summoned by the great master. Go, and we will wait for you here." Li Jian followed Zhao Jinhua to the cult's church. Inside the church, Zhang Li saw Yuan Kongye and thought to himself, "His greatness is a woman?" The great master Zhao Jinhua said, "God is omnipresent and ever-changing. His image reflects the heart of the follower, so don't mind the small details." Jian Li said, "Understood. Greetings, your highness. I, Jian Li, live only thanks to your grace." Yuan Kongye smiled and said, "Well spoken. I have been informed of your powers. From now on, you will become a priest of the Snowflower cult." Jian Li knelt again and said, "My life for the Snowflower cult." Yuan Kongye said, "Then follow me." A few moments later, Jian Li saw a towering tree. Yuan Kongye explained, "This is our sacred tree. It is rooted about 100 meters deep into the ground, and after absorbing nutrients from the soil, it blesses us with its fruits. This is our most important source of food. Our hope of survival depends on it. Would you like to try one?" Yuan Kongye handed an apple to Jian Li, who stared at it for a moment before taking a bite. He felt a surge of energy. Jian Li thought, "My body is full of energy. The cold and hunger have vanished." Yuan Kongye continued, "Your task is to use your powers to help cultivate the sacred tree. Make it grow larger so that it can feed more of our brothers and sisters." Jian Li nodded, "Yes, your highness, I will follow your orders." He stood beside the tree, took out a knife, and cut his finger. A stream of blood flowed from the small cut, nourishing the tree. The tree glowed, and vines appeared. Yuan Kongyi said, "From now on, you will feed the tree with your blood daily. This is your glorious purpose." Meanwhile, at Zhang Yi's mansion, everyone was exercising in the gym. Exhausted, Chunlei thought to himself, Miss Liang, like our boss, can consume superhumans. All the superhumans who attacked us had different abilities. I can't keep this up. Otherwise, I'll just be making a last-minute effort on the battlefield. Zhang Yi said to Chunlei, "Using your ability grants you power, but what truly matters is your intelligence. If you view psychic powers as weapons, then we must also learn how to use them wisely. A pebble thrown by a master is deadlier than a shuriken thrown by an ordinary person." Chunlei, in shock, thought, the boss is right. I've been too obsessed with upgrading my strength, but when the boss killed Ling Feng, he did it with his intellect. Chunlei said, I cannot consume other superhumans, so there's a limit to my ability. But if I learn how to better use what I have, I won't be weak. A month later, at Shishan Base ruins, the walls broke and crumbled to the ground. Suddenly, the dead began to walk. Back at Zhang Yi's living room, Yang Xingxin reported, "The situation at Qingchen Base is stable. They do not seek to invade others and are content with their land." After their defeat, Wei Dinghai suffered severe injuries, so Zhaoyu Base is being conservative in their actions. Because of this, other organizations have emerged in his territory. Zhang Yi sipped from a cup of snow water as Yang Xingxin continued. Yangsheng Base remains strong, and they have subdued some rebellious movements in their area. The Snowflower cult, however, has been the greatest winner. Their number of followers may soon reach 10,000. Zhang Yi said, how can they keep their people safe if they're recruiting at such a fast pace? Not everyone can be useful to the cult. Does Yuan Kong Yue think of herself as some sort of messiah? Yang Xingxin responded, there may be another explanation. Oh, tell me more, Zhang Yi replied. We're living in the end of days, Yang Xingxin explained. In times like this, the world's order changes drastically. People lose hope and ambition, but the strong may think differently. The Snowflower cult expanded their influence in Tianhai City, becoming the strongest force without resorting to violence. If they gather enough followers and their beliefs spread across the territory, even the three great forces, or even us, could be forced to assimilate. In short, if someone from the Snowflower cult wants to become a new god in this chaos, they might just succeed. Zhang Yi frowned. That idea still feels weird. Yang Xingxin insisted, believe me, brother, I'm not joking. People will take advantage of anything to survive. Zhang Yi nodded slowly. You're right, but things have changed. Numbers alone can't dominate the world anymore. And then there's the weapon situation. What if they use Kong Yue's blessing to turn every one of their more than 10,000 followers into superhumans? Yang Xingxin suggested. Superhumans? They're just humans who are a bit stronger. Only a few of the ones I've faced were truly powerful. Brother, you can talk this way because you become so strong, Yang Xingxin said. Zhang Yi muttered, the Snowflower cult. We need to keep an eye on them. Suddenly he added to himself, someone's approaching us? Just then, the dead began walking outside. Xiaoao, tell everyone to get to the meeting room with their gear, Zhang Yi commanded as he pulled out his Desert Eagle. Look outside and let me know if something appears. Yang Xingxin whispered to herself, where did these people come from? This can't be happening. Is another organization attacking us? Zhang Yi used a toilet paper cardboard tube as a makeshift scope to scan the distance. Uncle Yu Jiguang approached him, asking, Zhang Yi, what's the situation? Enemy attack? Zhang Yi spotted the ice-cold dead walking towards them. Damn, the zombies are really here. Teacher Liang Yue appeared and said, those corpses, could they have come from the Shishan base? How did you know? Zhang Yi asked. Look closely. They still have the Shishan base uniforms. They might be civilians from the life supplies chamber. Zhang Yi's eyes narrowed. That's strange. How are those corpses moving in this chilled environment? It could be a virus, Yang Xingxin offered. It's only a few corpses now, but it's terrifying to think a virus could be responsible. Let's go kill them. Remember, aim for the head, Zhang Yi ordered as he pulled out his assault rifle. Lu Keran stepped forward. Boss, give me a gun, please. I want in. Zhang Yi tossed her an MP5 H&K. Okay, but stay by my side and stay calm. Lu Keran caught it and nodded. Got it. Outside, Uncle Yu Jiguang suddenly charged at the walking dead with his shovel. Uncle Yu, it's better to use a gun, Zhang Yi shouted. Don't worry about it. Let's save some bullets, Uncle Yu replied as he spun his shovel. Zhang Yi opened fire on the walking dead as teacher Liang Yue sprinted ahead. Lu Keran grinned and turned to Chunlei. Brother Shu, let's compete to see who kills more zombies. I'll win for sure. I'm more used to guns than you are, Chunlei retorted. Zhang Yi, Lu Keran, and Chunlei started firing at the heads of the dead, taking them down one by one. But to their horror, the zombies started standing back up again. Uncle Yu Jiguang jumped behind one but missed. Fortunately, teacher Liang Yue managed to stab it in the heart. The other zombies raged at seeing their comrade fall and charged toward them. Watch out! Zhang Yi yelled as Uncle Yu Jiguang was surrounded. But Uncle Yu used his shovel to cleave a zombie in half. Get out of here, he yelled, though the severed corpse still crawled toward him. Chunlei, shocked, asked, What kind of creature is this that can't be killed? Zhang Yi suddenly opened his dimensional gate, sweeping up the incoming zombies. Chunlei exclaimed, Great, luckily our boss's dimensional gate still works on them. But one of the zombies paused, seemingly aware of the danger, and Zhang Yi froze in shock. Zombies are supposed to be brainless. How can they sense danger? Is someone controlling them? That could explain the disappearing corpses, Zhang Yi thought aloud. If that's true, then everything makes sense now. Zhang Yi took out his tank and shouted, Uncle Yu, Liang Yu, jump as high as you can on my command. Zhang Yi entered the tank and muttered to himself, I may not be great at driving this thing, but I've learned to shoot from Uncle Yu. Uncle Yu Jiguang nodded, saying, All right, let's do this. Zhang Yi counted down, 3, T2, 1. As Uncle Yu Jiguang and teacher Liang Yue leaped away, Zhang Yi fired the tank's cannon at the approaching walking dead, creating a massive explosion. The undead scattered, but the threat was far from over. Uncle Yu and teacher Liang started running back toward the mansion. Zhang Yi exited the tank, grabbing a flamethrower. Hurry up, he shouted. They're getting closer. He ignited the flames, scorching the walking dead as they sizzled under the heat. Watching them retreat, Zhang Yi frowned. What now? We can say for sure they're being controlled, he murmured. As soon as the person behind them realized killing us would be difficult, they chose to conserve the zombies and flee. Teacher Liang Yue shook her head. I can't imagine how anyone can control thousands of zombies at once. And these corpses, they're frozen solid. We can't even behead them. With that kind of power, they could rule Tianhai. Corpses are everywhere. We need to investigate this quickly, Zhang Yi said. If the dimensional gate affects them, it means they lack biological properties. He took a severed hand from one of the zombies and examined it. But they're still active. Suddenly, one of the decapitated zombies grabbed its own head, lifting it up to stare at Zhang Yi. He stared in awe. Amazing. Grabbing 2 more flamethrowers, Zhang Yi called out, Uncle Yu, Chunlei! Let's burn them. It's the only thing that works. A few moments later, in the mansion's living room, Yang Mi asked, Those corpses that move, they're not ghosts, right? Zhou Haimei hesitated. Hard to say. Let's keep our respect for the unknown. Someone is definitely controlling them, Zhang Yi replied. They sensed the danger of my portal and knew they had to escape. There's a superhuman hiding in the shadows somewhere. Dr. Zhou Care asked, But why would they attack us? Yang Xingxin added, We haven't wronged anyone, but Zhao Yu and Yangsheng bases have grudges against us lately. If they had this kind of power, wouldn't they have used it in battle? Dr. Zhou wondered. Zhang Yi sighed. Everything happened too fast to fully understand. We'll stay in the shelter. It's safe for now. Jingxin, keep an eye on the other factions. Let me know if anyone else is experiencing this. Leave it to me, Xingxin responded. Zhang Yi then turned to Uncle Yu and teacher Liang. Check yourselves thoroughly. Got it, they both replied. Zhang Yi reassured them. I'm not accusing anyone. It's just for safety. Here, I need your help, Dr. Zhou asked. You want me to study the zombies? Yes, I need to know if they're infected with a virus or being controlled. If it's a virus, it could spread across the entire city, maybe even globally. But if it's someone pulling the strings, there's another threat lurking in Tianhai. Dr. Zhou hugged Zhang Yi, trembling. This is terrifying. He embraced her back. Don't worry. Whatever happens outside doesn't concern us. We only need to protect ourselves. As long as I'm alive, I'll keep you safe. A little while later, in the shelter's infirmary, Zhang Yi retrieved the zombie hand from his secret stash. Dr. Zhou gasped. This is incredible. Be careful, Zhang Yi warned. We don't know how infectious it might be. Don't worry, she replied confidently. This is my area of expertise. I'll need time to analyze it. Take your time, Zhang Yi said. If the situation is manageable, we can control it. Yes, Dr. Zhou nodded. Our forces are the strongest in Tianhai, but this zombie crisis could cause chaos, especially in Snowflower Cult territory. At Yangsheng Base, Walking Dead swarmed the base as soldiers fired desperately into the horde. On top of a tank, Xiao Honglian spewed flames at the zombies. "These things are endless," she shouted as she watched the undead burn. A soldier ran up beside her. "Boss," he called, setting a box down at her feet. Xiao Honglian grabbed a cup of liquid from inside and drank it. Suddenly, she breathed fire onto the dancing dead, but strangely, they began to dance even more wildly. A few moments later, she jumped off the tank, frustrated. "What the hell are these things? They're not normal zombies. Find out who's behind them and where they came from." At Jiaoyu Base, the Walking Dead had arrived there too. Soldiers aboard warships opened fire on the oncoming horde. Wei Dinghai stood on deck, glaring into the distance. Where did these things come from? Were they sent by another faction? Or is there a sixth organization hidden underground? At Snowflower Cult Base inside the cult sanctuary, members ate forbidden apples, unaware of the impending danger. Guards at the gates spotted figures walking through the snow under the moonlight. A soldier approached and said, "Hey pal, where are you from? Need some help?" A few moments later, his flashlight flickered across a group of people walking towards him. Suddenly, his face turned pale as he gasped, "Oh, it's a monster, help!" His terrified scream echoed through the area as the zombies started sprinting toward the living. A cultist shouted, "Don't run, our highness will protect us." But despite their initial bravado, they soon turned and ran back to the church with the zombies chasing after them, shouting, "Ah!" Suddenly, a powerful force blew the zombies away. Zheng Yishan, watching the chaos, muttered to herself, "Are we really facing zombies now?" Turning to her allies, she ordered, "Tongzhan, Ganglei, you two stay inside. Protect our priest and followers. Don't come out for anything. The rest of you, come with me. It's time to kill some zombies." As they charged toward the mob, Tongzhan suddenly transformed. He decapitated the zombies in his path, but when he looked back, he was horrified to see the headless zombies still moving. "What? How are they still walking? I guess I'll have to smash them into pieces." Pausing to catch his breath, he wiped the sweat from his brow and muttered, "This sucks. What the hell is this?" Half an hour later, Zheng Yishan stood amidst the aftermath, pondering. "What on earth are those things?" she asked. "Check the injured. Some might have contracted a biovirus. Put them in quarantine if necessary." Tongzhan chimed in, "These zombies are weird. They can't be killed and they know when to retreat. They're nothing like the ones from TV. If some organization is behind this, they'll pay for it." "Calm down," Zheng Yishan said. "Right now, our priority is to protect everyone else. Is this just the calm before the storm?" Meanwhile, in a nearby mansion, Zhang Yi called Xing Weinan. Xing answered, "What? You were attacked by those zombies too? They showed up here yesterday and took about 100 of us." "Where could these things come from?" Zhang Yi wondered aloud. "This isn't some Resident Evil or Walking Dead situation, is it?" "I don't know what's going on," Zhang Yi admitted. "These zombies are bizarre. They don't die when beheaded, and it feels like someone is controlling them. And now that I've heard from you, I realize the situation is more serious than I thought. There's about 100 kilometers between us, yet we were both attacked." Xing Weinan paused. "Does that mean some powerful organization in Tianhai City can control corpses? If that's the case, they'd be unstoppable. There are 10 million corpses in that city. If they attack en masse, we'd be doomed. Your base isn't strong enough to handle daily attacks like this." Zhang Yi replied, "Calm down. First, we need to contact other survivors and see if they're facing the same situation." The next day, Zhang Yi surveyed the area before rallying the others. "Suit up, let's go." Chunlei began using her ice magic to slow the zombies. Zhang Yi observed, "Just as I thought, someone's controlling them. As soon as their vision is impaired, they stop moving." Uncle Yu Jiguang unleashed his flamethrower, torching the zombies. As Zhang Yi joined in, the undead began dropping like flies. Dr. Joker observed, "Just as I expected. The virus driving these zombies thrives in the cold. Heat causes them to lose mobility." As Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu Jiguang continued to burn the zombies, Zhang Yi said, "Something feels off." Chunlei asked, "What's wrong, boss?" "We took out half of yesterday's zombies, but today there are even more," Zhang Yi replied. "The zombie virus must be spreading. Every person who dies could be turning into one of them. Let's head back to the shelter and explain this to everyone." Back in the living room, Zhang Yi addressed the group. "That's the situation. Sooner or later, the entire city will be swarming with zombies. I don't know how we'll survive." The room fell silent. Yang Xingxin sipped his cup of tea and remarked, It's not set in stone yet. If the other organization sent so many zombies to attack us, there must be a reason behind it. But, he added, if we don't figure out what's causing this, it will become a bigger problem. Luke Heron sighed. I wish it were summer. At least then the corpses would rot faster. Zhang Yi nodded. Their numbers alone aren't the threat. It's the fact that they're being controlled. That makes them intelligent. Yang Xingxin said, so we need to take out the ones controlling them? Easier said than done, Zhang Yi replied. We don't even know where to start looking. We can't rely on common sense to deal with this kind of threat. Dr. Zhou Care spoke up. Actually, I think I might have a clue. Zhang Yi said, oh. Dr. Zhou Care replied, I have been analyzing these corpses for 2 days and I found a substance similar to a virus. It can survive in environments under 100 degrees Celsius and invade the nervous system to control the host. But its morphology doesn't fit the definition of a virus given by modern biology. Its structure is a mix of both a virus and a cell, yet it takes over the host body and reproduces like a virus. Zhang Yi asked, Dr. Zhou Care, could you explain that in simpler terms? Dr. Zhou Care responded, after the apocalypse, the gamma radiation redefined biology. Let's call this the zombie virus. This new virus exhibits traits from both bacteria and animals. When zombies are in hordes, they constantly move and sometimes even show signs of intelligence. However, the corpses I've analyzed had their reproductive instincts weakened. I believe the virus can be controlled similarly to how colonies work, where a mother virus controls the others from a distance. Remote control? Zhang Yi asked. Yes, but it won't be over too far a distance, Dr. Zhou Care explained. For example, animals can communicate through smell. This virus could have its own way of communicating. Zhang Yi said, so if we kill the mother, all the infected zombies will die too? Dr. Zhou Care hesitated. It's hard to tell. At the very least, they wouldn't be able to act intelligently as a group anymore. Zhang Yi exclaimed, I get it now. Have you noticed the zombies attacking us over the last 2 days? They were fiercer but lacked their usual intelligence. That's different from how they usually fight, Zhang Yi continued. Normally, the horde launches random attacks and retreats after some die. It's like a child learning to speak for the first time. Teacher Liang Yue interjected, hold on, I think I understand what you're saying. Even though they're corpses infected by a virus or mutated after death, they're still developing intelligence and learning how to fight. Zhang Yi nodded, exactly. If there's a being with intelligence among them, then that one would be the zombie king. From my experience, there are only 2 ways to gain superpowers, either through a life or death situation or through an external object like the ice spirit. So it's not impossible for them to gain power after death. If these corpses are mutating and gaining intelligence, then their attacks will only continue. Now's the time to gather intel. We need to pay attention to every detail in their actions to know how to handle them. But first, we need to clear this group of corpses as soon as possible. Their presence is a direct threat to our safety. Teacher Liang Yue added, there's one more problem. If the corpses are mutating into more intelligent beings, how were they able to launch attacks across all of Tai City at the same time? Zhang Yi said, I don't know, but Yang Xingxin mentioned the underground. We know the closest zombie nest is near the metro station, which connects to every zone in Tianhai City. The zombies can move freely through there. That explains why the horde attacking us was the smallest, Zhang Yi continued. We're in a small location with only one way in from the station. Xingxin, keep surveillance on the other organizations. I need to know what's going on with the zombies, Zhang Yi ordered. Sooner or later, we'll have to deal with them all. Yang Xingxin replied, sure thing. Zhang Yi added, we don't have to worry about their survival. They can fight the zombies all they want. It might even weaken the Snowflower cult. Their numbers have been growing to the point where I feel threatened. Losing some of their workforce during this crisis is fine by me. Later that night, Zhang Yi looked outside and said, they're attacking us at night now. Have they realized it's easier for us to fight them in the morning? The group headed outside as Zhang Yi poured gasoline around their perimeter. They seem to be getting smarter, he noted. This is bad, but it confirms our theories. Even the walkers are learning and adapting. Well, there's something else I need to test. Let's kill all the zombies. Leave none standing. Attack the horde, Zhang Yi shouted as he jumped onto Huawa's back. Uncle Yu Jiguang and Chunlei responded, got it. Uncle Yu Jiguang grinned. Let's have some fun, Chunlei muttered. Killing the dead isn't fun. Uncle Yu Jiguang laughed. Little Shu, there are plenty of living targets. Use them as cannon fodder. As Chunlei used his powers, the zombies froze in place. Teacher Liang Yue slashed the zombies into pieces while Zhang Yi and Hua moved to the back of the horde. Zhang Yi fired at one zombie, watching as it fell to the ground. He jumped down, and Hua transformed into a ball, rolling into the mob of zombies, crushing them. Zhang Yi called out, trying to escape? After coming this far, why the hurry? He started shooting at the remaining zombies. Moments later, Uncle Yu Jiguang, Chunlei, and teacher Liang Yu caught up to him. Chunlei asked, "Boss, what's the plan?" Zhang Yi responded, "After this wave of exploration, it's clear the zombie king isn't with them, but he can still control them remotely." He attached a camera to one of the zombies' eyes. "I've come to the conclusion that their main objective was to gather information about us and report it back to their king. If things continue like this, I'm afraid he'll send his true army. That's why we have to go on the offensive. Let's not give them time to prepare," Zhang Yi declared, smashing the head of a zombie with a camera. "Let this guy help us investigate what's happening underground." Teacher Liang Yu raised an eyebrow. "You mean to research what's going on down there and then find a way to destroy their base?" "Yes," Zhang Yi replied. "If there's a way to do it, we'll find it." He kicked the zombie's lifeless body. "In this situation, the best defense is a strong offense." "We'll wait for the good news this guy brings us," Zhang Yi added, watching as the zombie ran back to its home. A few hours later, in the living room, Zhang Yi turned on his massive 120-inch OLED television and saw a new zombie film playing. Chunlei, sitting beside him, exclaimed, "Dude, how many zombies are living underground?" Uncle Yu Jiguang said, "It looks like they're filming a new season of The Walking Dead. All the corpses from Tianhai City must be there." Chunlei trembled in fear. "All the people in Tianhai, what will happen to us?" Yang Xingxin remained calm. "It's too soon to worry. To become a zombie, you have to be infected by the virus first, but if we give them enough time, that day will surely come." "That's true," Zhang Yi agreed. "There are too many corpses in Tianhai City. Even if we keep pushing forward, it's impossible to deal with 10 million corpses." He paused. "But let's focus on the main issue. If we kill the zombie king, we won't have as many problems." Suddenly, Zhang Yi froze. On the screen, he saw a tall, slender blue figure. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "Where in the Mariana Trench did that thing come from?" he muttered to himself. The creature turned to the camera and smiled, sending chills down Zhang Yi's spine. "It found the camera!" he exclaimed. "This is still good, though. It confirms the zombie king is hiding there." Chunli, still shaken, asked, "But how can we kill it?" "There are too many zombies underground. If we attack, there's no telling how long it will take to clear them out." "There's another issue," Yang Xingxin chimed in. "The station covers the whole of Tahai City. Once the zombie king realizes he's in danger, he could escape." Zhang Yi thought for a moment. "If we're going to do this, we have to take our shot. As long as we kill the zombie king, it doesn't matter how many zombies there are. We just have to make sure they don't escape. The key is starting at the station." Teacher Liang Yue nodded in agreement. "We can begin at Songzhuang and blow up the tunnels with dynamite. That will block their retreat. Our only target is the zombie king," Liang Yue continued. "As long as it doesn't flee, we'll be fine. As for the rest of the zombies, we have plenty of methods to handle them." Uncle Yu Jiguang added grimly, "This battle is unavoidable. Zhang Yi, it's up to you to decide when to attack." Zhang Yi made his decision. "Get ready, we're going tomorrow." Chunlei was shocked. "Boss, why so soon?" "This isn't like you. What if something goes wrong underground? Are we underestimating the power of the zombies?" Zhang Yi reassured him. "Don't worry. I wouldn't ask you to do anything that puts your life at risk." "Boss, why are you being so secretive?" "Can't you just tell me?" Chunlei asked, still uneasy. "All you need to know is that I can get you out safely, even in the worst-case scenario," Zhang Yi said confidently. Teacher Liang Yue chuckled. "Then we have nothing to worry about tomorrow, right?" Yang Mi got up. "I'll go prepare some food." "Yes," Zhang Yi said. "The more the better." At the Yangsheng base, Xiao Hongliang continued burning zombies while keeping a close watch on the surroundings. "We can't just sit around and wait for our doom. If this keeps up, we'll have to abandon the base in a month." A soldier approached her and reported, "Boss, all the zombies have been dealt with, but we've lost 67 men, soldiers and slaves included." Xiao Hongliang frowned. "We need to change our tactics. We can't stay on the defensive like this." Zhuge Qingting, her lieutenant, asked cautiously, "Are you suggesting we attack the zombies' base?" "These zombies are clearly under control," Xiao Hongliang responded. "We need to gather intelligence and solve this crisis once and for all." "But that's too dangerous," Zhuge Qingting warned. "We don't even know their numbers." If we push the research too much, we might die. Let's wait for other forces to handle this. Xiao Honglian shook her head. Look at the sea of corpses we've left behind. Do you really think the other organizations, especially those jerks from the Snowflower cult, know how to deal with this? We can't trust them. They want us dead too. We have to handle this ourselves. She gave her final order. Go tell Dong Hu to bring 2 superhumans and some elite soldiers to investigate the zombies' base. Zhu Qingting nodded, silently acknowledging the decision. Meanwhile, at the Snowflower cult headquarters, Geng Lei reported grimly, the death count is already over 1,000 and some members may have been infected. The newcomers' faith is starting to crumble. If things continue like this, something bad is going to happen. Zhang Yishan, leader of the cult, responded coldly. It doesn't matter. They wouldn't dare make any bold moves. In the coming days, spread the word that all survivors have been killed by zombies. Without the protection of this Snowflower cult, they won't stand a chance. The other organizations are also losing ground and may be facing even bigger losses. Half of them might be dead or on the verge of collapse. Geng Lei said, I've got an idea. If others have it worse, we'll look better. If they see bodies everywhere, they'll think their lives are good and won't complain about the Snowflower cult. Zheng Yixian replied, they keep complaining because their faith isn't unwavering. We need to educate them faster. Only then will they realize how fortunate they are to join us. Geng Lei exclaimed, You're so wise, Archpriest. I will do as you say. He clapped his hands in admiration. In a different scene, outside, Zhang Yi and his team moved toward the hole. Zhang Yi said, Our goal is to kill the zombie king. If we can find him, we can kill him. But our safety comes first. Do not get into an unwinnable fight. This isn't a competition about who kills more zombies. Uncle Yu, you go first, Zhang Yi added as he threw a flare into the hole. Uncle Yu Jiguang responded, All right, and jumped ahead. At the bottom, he observed the area and said, Everything's clear, you can come. The team descended, and Zhang Yi spotted something unusual. Let's go, Zhang Yi urged. A few moments later, he observed, It seems like the zombies' instinct is to eat, not to infect their prey. As he glanced at a skeleton resting against the wall, Chunlei remarked, Well, they look hungry. The way they move, they'll always be hungry. Hey guys, there are more dead than living people in Tianhai City. There shouldn't be enough prey for 10 million zombies. Zhang Yi thought to himself, He's right. What will those creatures do if they run out of food? Will they march to other cities? It's not our business, Zhang Yi said out loud. Let's just focus on what we came here to do. Gotcha, Chunlei replied. Suddenly, Huahua screamed. Zhang Yi quickly shouted, Hold on, as they saw something moving fast. Teacher Liang Yue swiftly threw her dagger, hitting the target in the stomach. Zhang Yi stared at the creature. That is, it's a massive rat, Chunlei said, bigger than a cat. Zhang Yi wasn't surprised. A mutant rat. All those corpses could have been eaten by these creatures. Chunlei added, Considering the number of corpses, there must be a whole colony here. It's a nest. As the rats charged, Zhang Yi yelled, Yuck, let's clean this mess up. They began using flamethrowers to drive the rats back. A few moments later, Zhang Yi commanded, Put away the flamethrowers. He thought to himself, At this rate, we won't make any progress. Then he said, Double-dimensional gate, as the rats were sucked into the gates. Teacher Liang Yue asked, Your dimensional gate, was it upgraded? Zhang Yi nodded. I've been making progress since the last battle. Now I can use 2 at the same time. This is too convenient, she exclaimed. A few moments later, they pressed forward. Zhang Yi mused, I wonder if the zombies will come because of all the commotion. Teacher Liang Yue said, Both groups are underground. Could there be a connection between them? Who knows? Zhang Yi replied. Let's keep moving. Suddenly, they saw zombies forming a line. Zhang Yi thought to himself, I got you. They're asleep, Uncle Yu Jiguang observed. That makes sense, Zhang Yi said. Even if they're just virus hosts, they need energy. That's why they rest in the darkness when they have no orders. Should we burn them all? Uncle Yu asked. Zhang Yi recalled something Care had said about the zombies still retaining some of their biological nature. He thought, they're like a swarm. They need to rest. Hopefully, they stay this way for a while longer. Just then, a zombie noticed them. The group looked behind them in alarm. Zhang Yi opened the dimensional gate and thought, I knew it wouldn't be that easy. The zombies suddenly stopped. The zombie king has found us out, Zhang Yi shouted. Burn them all. Uncle Yu and Chunlei began incinerating the zombies. The zombie king can't be far, Zhang Yi exclaimed as the zombies fled. Teacher Liang Yue looked back and said, "The giant rats are still coming after us." "Don't worry about them for now," Zhang Yi replied. "We need to reach the zombie king as soon as possible. If we kill him, all our troubles will be over." "But the tunnels are still open," Teacher Liang Yue cautioned. "He could have escaped already. We'll move faster with fewer zombies around," Zhang Yi reassured. Meanwhile, in another part of the tunnel, Gang Lei was being attacked by mutant rats. He punched them with his flaming fist. "Let's keep moving. Our goal is to research this place and the corpses. We have to surpass any obstacle we face until then," Gang Lei shouted as he moved forward. Suddenly, the zombies noticed Gang Lei's group and turned toward them, their eyes glowing red. "Retreat, now," Gang Lei shouted. He thought to himself, "There are too many of them. Run and don't look back." As he held the zombies back, his group fled. Gang Lei shouted, "Escape as soon as possible. We can only hold them off for a few minutes." A soldier looked over at the strange figure and said, "What the hell is that Silver Surfer-looking guy?" The creature screamed at them and then tore the two soldiers into pieces. Gang Lei muttered to himself, "This is bad." In another scene, Chun-Lei exclaimed, "We've got a problem. We can't identify the zombie king due to all these obstacles." Zhang Yi, feeling uneasy, said, "I have a feeling that guy isn't too far from US." Suddenly, they heard noises in the distance. "Watch out, the big one's coming." A tall shadow appeared and stopped, staring at them. "Is that the zombie king?" Zhang Yi asked, his voice tense. Teacher Liang Yue's voice rang out, "There's one more here." They realized they were surrounded. Without wasting time, Zhang Yi activated his dimensional gates. Uncle Yu Jiguang muttered, "This Lovecraftian stuff is mass-produced now? There's no way these things are natural." "Don't be anxious," Zhang Yi said calmly. "Especially at times like this, you need to stay calm and observe. We will find the corpse king. It's nearby. I can feel it." Suddenly, Uncle Yu Jiguang erupted in a golden aura and charged at one of the tall zombies, landing a powerful punch. Teacher Liang Yue followed, jumping towards another zombie, slashing its chest. Blood oozed from the wound. "This guy is really hard to deal with." Teacher Liang Yue groaned. "Wawa, go help Uncle Yu," Zhang Yi ordered. His eyes focused intently on one of the tall zombies. "Liang Yu, get out of the way," he yelled. As Teacher Liang Yue leapt aside, Zhang Yi shouted, "Kamui!" The tall zombie's stomach was erased, and its head was decapitated instantly before it vanished. Chun-Lei ran towards the zombies, laughing, "Ha ha ha, let me burn you, pals." Teacher Liang Yue turned to Zhang Yi, eyes wide. "Your strength is terrifying. No man in Tianhai City could survive that and live to tell the tale." Zhang Yi shrugged. "What's so good about it?" "It's just another Monday for me." Meanwhile, Uncle Yu Jiguang continued brawling with another skinny, tall zombie. Zhang Yi reminded him, "It's too soon to relax. We still have to accomplish our goal. The real threat hasn't shown itself yet." As more tall zombies approached, Zhang Yi thought to himself, "What's going on? How many of these weirdos are there?" "Oh no," Chun-Lei exclaimed. "What are we going to do now? This situation is worse than I expected," Zhang Yi admitted. "And there's even more frightening forces behind it." Suddenly, Zhang Yi shouted, "Come back here." As Uncle Yu Jiguang and Huahua leapt towards him, the zombies charged at them, but Zhang Yi opened a gate yelling, "Follow me." They dashed through the gate just in time. The zombies, surprised, tried to follow but were blocked as Zhang Yi closed the gate. They looked around, confused, searching for Zhang Yi and the others. Once outside, Zhang Yi took a breath. That was scary. "Zhang Yi, is this your new power?" Teacher Liang Yue asked, impressed. "Not really," Zhang Yi replied. "I've just gotten better at understanding it. Now I can use the dimensional gate in different ways." "Boss," Chun-Lei said, still catching his breath, "you should have warned me. I need to change my underwear now." Zhang Yi smirked. "I just wanted to surprise you guys. To be honest, I had no idea if it would work. Anyway, this zombie crisis is worse than I imagined. There's no telling how this will end." Uncle Yu Jiguang frowned. "Then, what should we do now?" Zhang Yi took out a cigarette, lit it, and puffed thoughtfully. "No matter what, we have to solve this quickly. We can't let them get stronger." "What's your plan?" Teacher Liang Yue asked. "Killing them isn't the hard part," Zhang Yi said. "As we've discovered, they can't stand higher temperatures." Zhang Yi knelt down and drew a rough map in the snow. "Now, I have a plan. I've figured out how the metro station works. There's only one tunnel connecting to us, and they tend to sleep there. This means there's only one way to seal that tunnel and stop the swarm." Teacher Liang Yue leaned in, curious. "Or what is it?" Seawater, Zhang Yi replied calmly. Amazing, Teacher Liang Yue said astonished. That's such a clever trick. Zhang Yi explained. The bridge from the channel is a one-way path. If we flood it with water, they'll all sink. The tunnels are so deep, both zombies and rats will drown. This will get rid of most of them. If the zombie king is really hiding underground, he'll drown too. He won't be able to survive down there. Chunlei laughed. Boss, your powers are the best weapons against these zombies. You're wrong, Uncle Yu Jiguang said with a grin. His best weapon is his mind. We all have amazing abilities, but Zhang Yi knows how to make the best use of them. As Hua Hua smiled in joy, Zhang Yi said, this plan came out of a brainstorm, but it still needs some fixing. There are still details to consult with the professionals in the Zhang family. He took out his Hummer and said, let's go home and discuss the details of the plan. The earlier, the better. We have to hurry. We cannot let them have a chance to grow. At the office of Xiao Honglian and Zhu Qingting were watching a new zombie film. Zhu Qingting commented, I didn't know there were zombies underground. If they come out, we won't be able to stop them. Should we consider moving underground? Xiao Honglian replied, that's impossible. If we lose the refinery, we will lose our reason to be. No matter the cost, we have to protect it. But if they all come here, Zhu Qingting asked, will we be able to hold them? If that happens, we will throw our supplies at our surroundings and burn everything. Xiao Honglian said sternly. Zhu Qingting suggested, shouldn't we send the relatives of the soldiers underground? That way, if something happens to us, someone will still be there. Just do as I say, Xiao Honglian responded firmly. In the living room, Zhang Yi and the others returned. Dr. Zhou Care asked, what's happening? Did you run into any issues? Zhang Yi replied, there's an issue, but it's not that big of a deal. Yang Xingxin asked, brother, how's the operation going? Zhang Yi said, Xingxin, come here. I've got some questions for you. Don't hold up, Yang Xingxin said. Ask me anything you want. I need a way to freeze seawater in large quantities. Do you have any idea what I should use? Zhang Yi asked. Lu Keran chimed in, of course there's a way. You just need some chemicals. How much seawater are we talking about? Enough to freeze the entire subway line, about 20 kilometers, Zhang Yi replied. It shouldn't be too hard, but it might take some time. Great. In terms of time, we're not in a hurry, Lu Keran said. We'll be fine. We just need chemical products. I'll prepare a large amount of coagulant. The materials we found at the chemical plant will be useful. Then let's gather the seawater today, Zhang Yi said. Outside, Zhang Yi drove his Hummer. At the border of China's Oriental Sea, Teacher Liang Yue remarked, so beautiful. Is this the work of Mother Nature? Uncle Yu Jiguang added, compared to this, the ice during winter in Mohe is nothing. Zhang Yi said, we have no time to waste. Let's drive and get the water as soon as possible. 2 hours later, Chunlei shouted, boss, I found water over there. Let's gather it and get out of here, Zhang Yi commanded. The team went out and Zhang Yi invoked, double-dimensional gate. He collected the seawater. Uncle Yu Jiguang sighed, such a shame. I should have brought a fishing rod to this beautiful place. Zhang Yi smiled. I've got an idea. Let's build a fishing pond at home. What do you think? Chunlei asked. Boss, what do you think about a mansion with a view of the sea? If the zombies take over Xiaoyu base, we could take their place and use their ships to travel around. Zhang Yi replied, first, we need to solve our problems, but I really want those ships from Xiaoyu base. A few moments later, Zhang Yi said, let's go. All the preparations are done. Chunlei hesitated. Do we have to go now? He pointed to a huge fish swimming nearby. Back at the mansion, Zhang Yi spoke to Lu Keran. Keran, I've gathered the seawater. The next step is to use it to make the coagulant. Are the materials ready? Lu Keran replied. That's easy to prepare. These containers, you put them in the seawater and analyze the salt content. Only when the salt level is low will the water freeze faster. Zhang Yi looked at the containers, nodding. We'll have it ready in 2 days, Lu Keran assured him. Got it, Zhang Yi said. We can wait 2 more days. Suddenly, an alarm sounded throughout the house, announcing, danger, danger, the shelter is under attack. The shelter is under attack. Warning, the shelter has sustained 0.00001% damage. The shelter is under attack. Please deploy damage control. Zhang Yi jolted awake and muttered, what the heck? Are those zombies back? He glanced outside and exclaimed, giant rats from underground. We've already killed many of their kind, so now they're joining forces with the zombies. These pieces of trash. Their attacks might not get far, but they can still create a big hole. They might even dig through the entire outer wall. They're testing us and gathering intel. If we don't strike back, we'll be in serious trouble. But we still need to wait 2 more days. Zhang Yi suited up and headed outside. Outside, Zhang Yi, Uncle Yu Jiguang, Chunlei, teacher Liang Yue, and Huahua joined forces to eliminate the zombies and zombie rats. A few moments later, Zhang Yi said, "If we let those rats keep attacking our shelter, they might breach our walls in 2 years. Let's get ready to put an end to this." Zhang Yi then walked back to the mansion. Meanwhile, at Zhaoyu base, Wei Dinghai lamented, "These past days have been a nightmare. The swarm has been attacking in more intelligent ways. If we abandon the port, we'll lose our supplies. But as long as we can hold on to this ship, we'll make it through. Other organizations don't have the advantage of the sea. They'll suffer greatly." At the Snowflower cult headquarters, a cultist reassured his companion, "This is a unique situation, so don't worry about the virus." His friend butchered a giant rat, drooling as he remarked, "If you kill one of these, you'll have enough food for 10 days. 2 days later, Zhang Yi retrieved seawater from his secret space. He said, "It's not fresh water yet, but it freezes quickly. Let's proceed with the plan." A few moments later, at Songzhuang Station, Chunlei announced, "Explosives are ready." Zhang Yi thought to himself, "If we want to freeze these rats and zombies to death, we have to block all their escape roads. First, we need to demolish Songzhuang Station." He pressed the red button, and a massive explosion erupted. Chunlei expressed concern. "Boss, won't the zombies be alerted by the explosion and try to escape?" Zhang Yi replied, "That's not a problem. My goal today isn't to kill the zombie king, I just want to drive him away from us." Teacher Liang Yue interjected, "But if the rest of humanity perishes, will we be fine on our own?" Zhang Yi responded, "Is it better to let the virus destroy everything on this planet? We're not the protectors of the entire human race. If we can help them, we will, but if not, we have to prioritize ourselves." In the station's subchannel, Zhang Yi released the water he had collected, flooding the station as the giant rats scrambled deeper inside. The water swept the rats away, while the zombies wandered aimlessly around the tracks. As Zhang Yi poured in the chemicals provided by Lucaran, the water froze instantly, trapping the zombies and rats underground. Zhang Yi declared, "With this, our problem is solved. We can relax for now. Let's leave this surprise for the other organizations." Uncle Yu Jiguang remarked, "Space manipulation is incredible." Teacher Liang Yue asked, "What now?" Zhang Yi replied, "What else? Let's strike. Whether they're zombies or rats, they're still a threat to us. Now that we've come this far, let's finish them off. Let's clean up as much as we can and then call it a day." As the surviving zombies and rats emerged from their tunnels, Zhang Yi, Uncle Yu Jiguang, Chunlei, and Teacher Liang Yue charged forward to exterminate them. In a suburban snowfield, the boss zombies appeared. The zombie king muttered to himself, "The tunnel has been destroyed completely. The swarm is done for, attempting that hopeless assault on the shelter." As he stood silently, guarded by his elite zombies, he heard a voice saying, "My lord's new order." Meanwhile, at Yangsheng base, Xiao Honglian commanded, "Move out, now!" They poured gasoline into a trench, and a soldier threw a torch into it, igniting a wall of flames that engulfed the zombies. Xiao Honglian thought to herself, "This defensive tactic will minimize our losses, but the oil consumption. Who cares? I have unlimited oil resources." In a different scene, at the underground shelter of Qingchen base, Xingtian mused, "We're battling endless waves of zombies every day. My comrades are exhausted. Let's hide and wait for the zombies to move on. I don't care if they take over the steel factory temporarily. They can't use the equipment, and they won't destroy it. All they care about is human flesh." In the shelter's living room, Yang Xingxin hurriedly called out, "Brother Zhang Yi, there's a new message. It's important. You have to read it." Zhang Yi replied, "Okay, let me see it." Suddenly, his expression changed as he read the message. "Personnel from the Special Ops team of the Jiangnan region have arrived in Tianhai City. Please make sure to come to the central building at 14:30 hours. The guest list included Jing Weinan from Qingchen base, Xiao Honglian from Yangsheng base, Wei Dinghai from Zhaoyu base, Yuan Kongye. Leader of the Snowflower cult Zhang Yi, military representatives of the Jiangnan region." Zhang Yi remarked, "The military from Jiangnan? Isn't that one of the big 5 Army Corps of China with its headquarters in Jinling?" Yang Xingxin said, "Yes, I think it's them." Zhang Yi replied, "How can we be sure this mail is real and not some hoax?" Yang Xingxin reassured him, "Trust me, bro. This is a message from the Jiangnan region. I've set up a strong firewall to protect our network. If anyone wants to contact us, they have to request access. Yet, this message managed to get through. That's something only a master hacker or a large organization could achieve. That's why I believe it's genuinely from the Jiangnan region. Zhang Yi frowned and said, "The only thing I don't know is their motive." "How is this possible? Does this mean our network isn't safe?" Yang Xingxin replied, "Don't worry. The core of our network is the intranet, using independent servers that aren't connected to the outside world. No one can break into it." Zhang Yi said, "I think they're coming because of the zombie crisis." Yang Xingxin added, "This message suggests they know everything that's happening in Tianhai City." Zhang Yi thought for a moment before saying, "We should go. We can't afford to offend an organization as powerful as the Jiangnan region. Given the technological capabilities of the other forces in Tianhai City, I don't think it's a trap. But I'll bring guards just in case." A few moments later, Zhang Yi gathered the team in the living room. Chunlei said, "We're living peacefully now, but if another force rises, we'll be back on the path of war." Zhang Yi responded, "Tianhai City isn't worth the time of powerful forces like the Jiangnan region. They won't care about my assets." Chunlei replied, "That would be ideal. I hope we don't enter any conflicts now." Uncle Yu Jiguang remarked, "I think we can trust them. As the leader of the Jiangnan region, he wouldn't want the zombie crisis to escalate further. They probably want to contain it here, given how large our population is." Teacher Liang Yue nodded. "I was thinking the same." Zhang Yi concluded, "Well, now that we've been invited, let's go meet them. Xingxin, you'll be responsible for monitoring the network. We're almost certain of their identity, but let's keep some countermeasures just in case." At Tianhai City Tianfeng District, an armored vehicle sped through the snowstorm. Suddenly, it stopped, and two individuals emerged. "Whoa, I didn't expect this place to end up like this. This could become a disaster if many people are expected," one of them said. His companion replied, "This isn't a big deal. I can clean it up." He unleashed his power, blasting a large hole in the ice, and then said, "Captain, after you." They descended into the hole. A few moments later, Xiao Honglian's vehicle arrived. She observed, "Just one vehicle? It seems they didn't send many people." She inspected the hole and mused, "Now what's this? It doesn't look like it was made by a machine. This seems like the work of superhumans. They've brought an expert with them." A blond boy called out, "Identify yourself." Xiao Honglian replied, "Xiao Honglian from Yangsheng Base, and these are my men." The blond boy responded, "Xiao Honglian, ex-captain of the police criminal brigade in Tianhai City. Welcome, please come inside, but only you can enter. Your men will have to wait outside." Xiao Honglian turned to her soldier and instructed, "Wait for me here." The soldier asked, "Boss, what if it's a trap?" Xiao Honglian replied confidently, "It doesn't matter. If I decide to leave, no one can stop me." She entered the hole, while Wei Dinghai arrived shortly afterward and followed her inside. The blond boy addressed him, "We apologize, but only those invited can join the meeting." Chen Jingguan interjected, "What's this about?" "Are you afraid of us?" The blond boy replied, "We only want to speak with the leaders of each base." "Are you the leader of Zhaoyu base?" Wei Dinghai said, "We came in good faith, and you wanted to speak to me. Why shouldn't I bring company?" Then turning to Chen Jingguan, he added, "Just wait for me outside," giving him a quick wink as he thought, "This guy's an expert, don't engage him." Chen Jingguan nodded, "Yes, boss," as he watched Wei Dinghai head inside, muttering, "Disk." Nearby, Xiao Honglian's soldiers chuckled at him. Suddenly, Zhang Yi arrived. Seeing the scene, he thought, "Damn, the whole farm's gathered. I hope they don't hold any grudges against us." The soldiers murmured among themselves, "It's Zhang Yi and his crew. They're ruthless. Best not to cross them." As Zhang Yi and his team walked past, the blond boy shouted from the hole, "I assume you're Zhang Yi, right? Come inside, but only you. Your team should wait outside." Zhang Yi nodded. "Sure thing. So where's the meeting?" The blond boy instructed, "5th floor, left side, 3rd meeting room." Zhang Yi replied, "Oh, thank you." A few moments later, inside the conference room, Zhang Yi entered and thought, "Sunglasses? Indoors? Could he be blind?" He took a seat and introduced himself. "This humble one's name is Zhang Yi. May I ask for yours?" Bian Junwu introduced himself. "The name's Bian Junwu. I'm in charge of researching the zombie crisis in Jiangnan." Zhang Yi replied, "Sir Bian, I've heard a lot about you." Suddenly, the door opened and Xing Tian entered. "I apologize for being late." Bian Junwu gestured to him. "It's okay. Please take a seat." Xingtian sat next to Zhang Yi and said, "Old mate, it's nice to see you in good health." Zhang Yi responded, "Don't mention it. I've had to clean up daily, it's such a bother. If things keep going like this, my shelter won't last much longer." Hearing this, Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, and Xing Tian exchanged knowing smiles and thought to themselves, "He can't handle it? We've suffered a lot, but if others are struggling too, we'll all be equals in force." Just then, Zhang Yixian arrived, and Zhang Yi thought to himself, "It seems Yuan Kanye can't handle things at the Snowflower sect, and had to send the experienced Zhang Yixian." Bian Junwu addressed the room. "All right, now that everyone's here, the zombie crisis in Tianhai City is a threat to everyone, and as its residents, you must take responsibility for it. Do you understand the meaning of establishing a base? Let's set aside the Snowflower sect for now, as they are not a government organization. However, the four of you have either occupied or were given resources from other bases. Yet, despite using these resources, you're not taking responsibility for maintaining stability in your city. If that's not incompetence, then what is?" Wei Dinghai countered. "It's easy for you to say, Sir Bian, but why do you claim that we don't care about stability in Tianhai City? There was no way to prevent this from happening. The waves are too large to control. Billions of corpses are scattered across the world. We also lack the powerful weapons and special forces that Jiangnan and China's elite have." Bian Junwu laughed. "That's a good one. If you lack the capacity to face this crisis, then become my subordinate and follow my orders. I will take the lead on this crisis, and all of your forces must follow my instructions unconditionally." Zhang Yi thought to himself, "Me? Following orders? No chance in hell." Shang Yixian said, "I'm afraid we cannot accept this condition." Xing Tian added, "Even if Jiangnan stands at the top of the chain, if only a few of you think you can control us, you're underestimating us." Xiao Honglian chimed in, "Unless you send a large troop, it's impossible." Bian Junwu's expression hardened. "Oh? So, you don't think I'm qualified for this? Can you solve this crisis on your own? You failed to protect the city and allowed the crisis to expand into neighboring areas, taking innocent lives. You've only thought about yourselves, locked in useless power struggles, and now you want to solve the crisis?" He slammed the table, making the room echo. "Don't forget, Tianhai City isn't your property. Jiangnan is the most powerful region here. I am here representing the Jiangnan region, and what I say reflects the will of the entire region. If you refuse to obey my orders, prepare to face the consequences." Zhang Yi silently observed him. Xiao Honglian challenged, "So, if we don't follow your orders, you'll send troops after us?" "Are you trying to scare me?" Bian Junwu retorted. "Are you out of your mind? Don't you think the crisis itself is already enough? Do you think this is only happening in Tianhai City? We've been given orders for 2 tasks. 1. Work with local forces to resolve the zombie crisis. 2. Prevent the situation from worsening and spreading to other cities. If the zombie crisis cannot be contained and things spiral out of control, then Tianhai City will have to be abandoned." Zhang Yi, visibly shocked, thought to himself, "Are things really that bad? If the threat level reaches that of nuclear warheads, then yes, abandoning the city would be the only option." Bian Junwu continued, "Very well. All the forces of Tianhai City will cooperate and obey my orders unconditionally." As the room fell into a tense silence, Zhang Yi broke it, saying, "I'm willing to support your actions. As you said, the research team came here because the local forces failed to resolve the crisis. Now, you must get involved. But what if we've already solved the issues within our own territories?" Xiao Honglian, with a hint of skepticism, replied, "What's that supposed to mean? Don't tell me your place is safe with those limited numbers?" Wei Dinghai said, "Mate, you're a real hero, but this is serious. Let's cut out the jokes." Zhang Yi replied, "Since when was I joking? Honestly, the areas around my shelter are already clear of zombies. Problem solved." The others were shocked. Xiao Honglian stood up and said, "I don't believe you. How could that be possible?" Zhang Yi shrugged. "Listen, I don't care if you believe me or not. You're welcome to check it out yourself." Bian Junwu leaned in, intrigued. "How did you manage that? I'd really like to know." Zhang Yi explained, "Zombies attack humans as food, so they're drawn to populated areas. In Tianhai City, where do you think the most people are? That's where zombies gather. My shelter's in a remote area with fewer than 10 people. Zombies aren't drawn in much." He continued, "It was a brutal battle though. We found out these zombies are controlled by a mutant with the power to command them, a zombie king. This mutant is intelligent and can create new zombies that are symbiotically linked to him. We went down into the tunnels with all the weapons we got from Xishan base and wiped them out. Thanks to this, Xishan and Lujiang districts can maintain some stability. Bian Junwu asked, so if we maintain stability in our zones, does that mean we'll have more freedom to act? Of course, Zhang Yi answered. We're happy to cooperate with your investigation and assist when needed. We're not the kind to keep secrets if it benefits everyone. But right now, our focus is on strengthening our base. Our numbers are small. Bian Junwu nodded approvingly. That's commendable. It shows the intelligence and strong bonds in your team. We'll need you for the rest of this operation. Whatever you need, I'm here to help, Zhang Yi replied. Then I thank you in advance, Bian Junwu said. He suddenly slammed the table. From this point forward, I need your full cooperation. No holding back any information and any old grudges are left behind. Zhang Yixian then said, now, let's discuss how to handle the zombie and mutant rat crises. Suddenly, from outside, they heard Chen Jingwan yell, what about the people from Jiangnan district? Come at me if you can. Wei Dinghai muttered to himself, that brat. What is he doing? Bian Junwu looked up, annoyed. What's happening? Xing Wenan waved it off. Just a minor skirmish among subordinates, nothing to worry about. Bian Junwu dismissed it. Fine, let them handle it. We have more important matters to discuss. Meanwhile, Wu Di scoffed. Look, that guy's acting like a mad dog, Kong Sheng joined in. What else can he do? Just incompetent bluster. Wu Di said, they're challenging us. If we don't answer, we'll lose face. Kong Sheng growled, I don't tolerate disrespect. Nobody can trash the Jiangnan region's name like that. Chen Jingguan pointed at them. That's enough. We don't know you well, so maybe you're not as tough as you seem. Kong Sheng smirked. Oh, I'll show you the power of Jiangnan superhumans. Watch and learn. Kong Sheng, a superhuman with the ability to harden his body to steel, charged up his powers. Uncle Yu Jiguang watched and murmured, this kid's about to lose some teeth. Chen has some unique skills and seems capable in direct combat. But that other guy looks like a master. You can see it in his stance and breathing. Kong Sheng snarled, and then suddenly changed direction, circling around Chen Jingwan before attempting a powerful kick. To his surprise, Chen's body flexed and absorbed the blow. Chen Jingwan smiled slyly. Give up. No matter how strong you are, once you're entangled with me, you can't escape. He whispered in Kong Sheng's ear, be smart and surrender. In frustration, Kong Sheng pulled a blade and slashed at Chen, tearing his shirt. Chen taunted, I told you, people with enhancement abilities are easy to handle with my elastic powers. Now be a good guy, or I'll break your bones. Kong Sheng trembled in rage but then leaned in, surprising everyone as he extended a metal tongue to lick Chen's eye. Chen screamed in pain. Ah! Kong Sheng laughed. And here I thought your eyes could become rubbery too. Uncle Yu Jiguang gasped. He enhanced his tongue to pierce Chen's eye. Chen, shocked and in agony, managed to ask, how did you know my weakness? Kong Sheng replied, if your eyes were elastic, you'd be blind. Now get out of here and treat that wound before it's too late. He glanced around at the others. So, who's next? A soldier quickly bandaged Chen's eye as Kong Sheng turned away, smirking. Inside the conference room, Bian Junwu spoke confidently. I've gathered all the intel you've provided. Coupled with our prior knowledge, we can now devise a solid plan. Zombies are drawn to densely populated areas. The more people there are, the more they swarm. The symbiotic bond between the zombie hordes and the mutant rats means that if we eliminate the zombies, the rats will be easier to handle. He continued, these zombies exhibit a certain movement pattern, suggesting control by a zombie king, though it could just as well be an inhuman high-level mutation. Our only way to truly end the crisis in Tianhai City is to eradicate this zombie king. I advise all of you to move your people into underground shelters and prepare for an active stance. Zhang Yixian asked, then what are we to do? Our other allies have their own underground facilities, but the Snowflower cult lacks such protection, Bian Junwu replied. Zhang Yixian stood, his voice sharp. Sir Bian, you're discriminating against us. Bian Junwu met his gaze calmly. Your Snowflower cult brought in thousands of members just recently. It's your responsibility to protect them. Do you expect us to take care of all of your people? We are here to formulate cohesive strategies. If you want to go it alone, be my guest, but you'll eventually be crushed by the zombie sea. Are you willing to let us die? Zhang Yixian protested. With everyone else in shelters, the cult will be the only target above ground. How will we survive the waves of zombie attacks? Xiao Honglian interjected, you took on so many people, yet most of them lack any useful talents. If you can't protect them, That's on you. Junwoo added, the snowflower cult has an important role. If you can't ensure their safety, I'll provide a way to help. Suspicious but interested, Zhang Yixian asked, and what might that be? Classified information, Junwoo replied. I'll brief you within 3 days. For now, organize your resources and follow my directives. I'll issue further instructions shortly. As the others filed out, Junwoo called out, Zhang Yi, wait! Zhang Yi turned. What can I do for you, Sir Bian? Junwoo smiled. Could you take me to your shelter? My shelter? Zhang Yi hesitated. I'm not sure why you'd be interested. Your base is much better equipped. Oh, am I not welcome? Junwoo teased. Of course you are, Zhang Yi replied quickly. Junwoo whispered, lower your guard. I'm not here to betray anyone. I just want a private talk about your methods for dealing with the zombies. I also have some information you'd be very interested in. If you're that keen, then be my guest. Zhang Yi replied. I can't turn away someone who's come so far. A short while later, as they emerged, Wei Dinghai noticed Chen Jingguan's bandaged eye and asked, what happened to you? Chen replied, I'm fine, boss. Just a little fight with a friend from Special Ops. Junwoo frowned. Didn't I tell you to keep things civil? Woody cut in. They started it. We had to show them our strength so they won't drag us down in the future. Don't let it happen again, Junwoo said sternly. Just then, a scout's panicked shout pierced the air. The zombies are coming. Everyone looked up, seeing a swarm of zombies rushing toward them, moving faster than expected. Jing Weinan muttered, it must be the crowd here attracting them. The zombies closed in, their numbers seemingly endless. Xiao Honglian cursed under her breath. What awful luck. Is Tianhai City nothing but a zombie nest now? Wei Dinghai gritted his teeth. We need to clear them out, or they'll learn our location, making it even harder to deal with them later. Junwoo smirked. Is that all? He calmly removed his sunglasses, and his eyes began to spark with electric energy. Facing the oncoming swarm, he murmured, annihilation. In a flash, his entire body began to emit intense electricity, waves of energy arcing from his form. The zombies approaching closest began to fry and disintegrate as the electric field intensified. Zhang Yi shielded his eyes from the blinding light, and the others saw it too. As Wu Di and Kong Sheng just stood there and watched the show, the zombies started to disintegrate Zhang Yi peaks a little. And Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, and Zhang Yi said to themselves, what just happened? Am I dreaming? Wei Dinghai points at a direction and said, hey, look over there. Zhang Yi was shocked and confused. Zhang Yi said to himself, thousands of zombies were eradicated in an instant. Woody said, look at the boss, taking all the glory when he told us to behave. Kong Sheng said, maybe he's taking your advice, demonstrating his power to remind everyone of their place. As the scene settled, a green-haired subordinate rushed over, saluting sharply. Captain, allow us to finish things here. You don't need to exhaust yourself further. Junwoo slid his sunglasses back on, his expression calm. We're all busy, no time to waste. Zhang Yi thought to himself, it looks like some kind of physical condition. The Jiangnan region should have the means to treat any illness. Could it be a terminal disease? Or did this illness come from using his power? Junwoo looked back at them and said, okay, now everyone can return home. Remember to keep in touch. As soon as I contact you, be ready to cooperate with us. Zhang Yi approached Junwoo and said, Sir Bian, are you okay? I have a medic at home who can treat your illness. Junwoo replied, it's okay. This is just a trivial matter. Zhang Yi thought to himself, he doesn't want to be examined by a medic. My suspicions seem correct. Zhang Yi said, this weather is so cold. Come to my house to warm up. Junwoo said, okay, I've got a lot to discuss with you. A few moments later, they rushed to Zhang. Woody said, Captain, why are you so kind to that guy named Zhong Yi? Is he some sort of illegitimate lost child of yours? Junwoo replied, that Zhong Yi guy is fearsome. I can feel his strength. He's a lot stronger than the leaders of the other factions. This could be good for us. The red-haired man asked, is he that good? I didn't see him fight. How could you know? Junwoo replied, first, my intuition. Second, my experience. His team has the fewest members among all the factions, yet they're one of the 5 power factions in Tianhai City. This shows his prowess, and that's not even factoring in his superhuman skills. As a team leader, Zhang Yi is undoubtedly the strongest. They're also the only faction that managed to deal with the zombie crisis in their territory. That's a significant achievement on its own. The green-haired man said, I see. Captain, you really thought this through. Woody said, that's interesting. It makes me want to fight him. Junwoo said, Woody, behave yourself. My intuition tells me he has a powerful skill that counters yours. Woody replied, What? That's even more interesting. Captain, what is his superpower? Bien Junwoo said, He has an extremely rare and powerful space manipulation ability. Woody exclaimed, Space manipulation? The green-haired man said, Even in the Jiangnan region, there are only a few users with such power. That ability holds immense strategic value. Now I understand why you want him to join us. Bien Junwoo replied, I just got the idea. You can test his quality if you want. If he decides to leave for the Jiangnan region, that's up to him. Zhang Yi thought, These guys are too strong. We have to behave for now. Be careful and cooperate with them. They're at the top of the chain and we have to show them respect. A few moments later they arrived. Bien Junwoo said, I thought his shelter was underground. I didn't expect it to be such a big mansion. Kongsheng said, Such luxury. Even in the Jiangnan region, mansions like this don't exist, right? The girl replied, Remember that, at one point, this was the home of the richest man in China. It isn't strange to have these accommodations. Zhang Yi unlocked the 30 padlocks on the main door and said to Bien Junwoo and his team, Come in. Just treat it as your own house. Dr. Zhou Care asked, Zhang Yi, are these guys the ambassadors sent by the Jiangnan region? They look like regular troops. Zhang Yi said, They are all special agents sent by the Jiangnan region to deal with the zombie crisis. Please, Care, go and prepare them some drinks and food. Zhang Yi asked, What would you like to drink? In this modest house, we only have coffee and some other beverages. Woody thought to himself, He called all that modest? Bien Junwoo said, Hot water for me. Also, can we talk alone? Zhang Yi said, Sure thing. Come with me, please. In the meeting room, Bien Junwoo said, Now that we're alone, can you tell me how you dealt with the zombies? What you said before worked as an excuse, but you can't hide things from me. We, the Jiangnan region, have more information than you can imagine. Zhang Yi thought, People of his qualities are hard to trick. Then Zhang Yi looked at him seriously and said, I had my reasons not to trust you all, but I'll tell you the truth now. He thought to himself, If I lie deliberately, I'll leave a bad impression on Bien Junwoo, which is the opposite of what I want. Bien Junwoo drank his hot water and asked, Why did you hide this information? Was it due to some grudge against the other factions? Or do you want more people dying? Perhaps you want to become the sole authority in Tianhai City. Zhang Yi replied, It's true that I held some animosity towards them. It should be easy to realize that we aren't on good terms with the other organizations. They could invade any territory at any given time. The weaker other organizations become, the better for the strong ones. However, that wasn't the main reason. You may know how vast the substation network is. I don't have the capacity to help them in such a big environment. Also, this won't address the main problem. If the Zombie King stays alive, the zombie menace will return. Bien Junwoo asked, Have you seen the Zombie King? Zhang Yi replied, Not yet, but I'm sure it exists. These zombies choose their targets and can coordinate their attacks. Bien Junwoo said, You're so smart. Zhang Yi said, This isn't about being smart, it's about survival instinct. I think fast every day just to stay alive. Bien Junwoo replied, You've got unlimited potential. You must be at the Delta level at the moment. Would you like to leave this place and go to the Jiangnan region to test yourself? Zhang Yi said, Hold your horses, sir. What's that Delta thing you just mentioned? Bien Junwoo explained, This isn't classified information, so I can tell you about it. When do you think the first superhumans started appearing? Zhang Yi answered, After the gamma rays covered the whole planet in blue, starting the global freeze. Bien Junwoo said, No, humans have mutated since the beginning of time. Evolution has been ongoing since the dawn of humanity. This is the mutation we faced. Some mutations allowed individuals to gain survival abilities and a higher reproductive capacity. Their children then begin a new mutation. The humans of today are the result of mutations in our ancestors over millions of years. In this process, among millions of people, there have always been individuals who developed special skills. Some may become powerful generals, epic heroes, philosophers with a fondness for smoking, or even some sort of cultivator with 3 heads and 6 arms. It could be anything. We call them monsters. They have existed since ancient times, but now the mutation rate has increased steadily. Nowadays, it seems everyone has undergone some kind of genetic modification due to external factors. This change in DNA has led to the rise of many superhumans. Our investigation into human variants has been conducted in different countries for a long time, leading to a tiered classification for them. Zhang Yi said, I understand how they are sorted by their kind of power, but how are the levels divided? What criteria do they use? Bien Junwoo continued, Right now, the world has a tier system to classify them from top to bottom: epsilon, delta, gamma, beta, and alpha. Alpha levels are superhumans who just started getting their powers, basically a level 1. Superhumans at this level don't have great abilities nor significant potential for growth. They are just a bit stronger than ordinary people. Beta is akin to level 2. They are stronger than alphas and are comparable to the elite among ordinary humankind. However, they don't have much room to grow. Gamma is the third level. Superhumans at this level are already powerful and can't be compared with ordinary people. These kinds of individuals have the strength to resist hundreds of people or possess support skills that are incredibly valuable for their teams. Zhang Yi thought to himself, Fatty and Uncle Yu may be at the gamma level. Zhang Yi said, okay, tell me more. Bian Junwu explained, well, now it's where things start to pick up. The delta level, or fourth level, is the strongest known. The main characteristic of these superhumans is that they can absorb energy from other superhumans to grow stronger. Zhang Yi thought to himself, whoa, that explains why Wahua, Liang Yue, and I can absorb from other bodies while Fatty and Uncle Yu can't. Bian Junwu said, in the beginning, a delta superhuman may be weaker than other superhumans, but they have unlimited potential since they can continue to grow until they reach their peak. Their value is unmatched. Right now, we can tell that you and the leaders of other forces are at this level. Zhang Yi thought to himself, Delta. I've been given one of the highest levels of a superhuman. Bian Junwu continued, then there's Epsilon, the highest a human can reach, level 5. This is the pinnacle of power in the world. Each country has only one. They can absorb energy from other superhumans and possess terrifying strength. Zhang Yi asked, are you at that level, Sir Bian? Bian Junwu replied, no, I'm only a delta. Zhang Yi was shocked and said, if you're only a delta level, I can't imagine how strong a superhuman at epsilon level must be. Bian Junwu chuckled and Zhang Yi asked, oh, what's so funny? Did I misunderstand something? Bian Junwu explained, there's a bit of a discrepancy in how you understood it. The classification of powers doesn't necessarily reflect combat effectiveness. It represents the limits of their capacity. There's a wide range of skills, from those geared toward combat to those focused on support. There are even some unique skills that don't fall within those two categories. If a skill is restricted by its environment or it can't be fully developed, other superhumans of a lower level might be able to defeat someone with a higher potential. Zhang Yi thought to himself, in other words, the potential of a superhuman also depends on the user. Zhang Yi said, so, in your opinion, I'm a delta superhuman, in other words, a level 4. This means you think of me as an equal. That's such a high evaluation. Bian Junwu replied, this is just a general rule. To tell you the truth, this classification should be handled by professionals in the region. So, it's possible that this classification isn't completely accurate yet. We can only give approximations based on the prowess shown by superhumans. My judgment is based on your achievements. Just from that, I can tell that you're a Delta user. It's also possible for you to reach the next level. But the Delta phase is like an inflection point. If you cannot reach the capacity to co-evolve, then you may be downgraded to a superhuman below level 3. Zhang Yi asked, Sir Bian, have you ever seen an Epsilon superhuman? Bian Junwu said, no, but I know there's an Epsilon superhuman in the Shengjing region. Zhang Yi said, does someone like that really exist? Bian Junwu said, this isn't classified information either. Every region needs to manage vast areas at the end of the world. To face these challenges, we rely on absolute power to combat mutants and other creatures. The skill of that person is so strong, it defies common sense. It's said that anyone who becomes their target will die, even if they are thousands of kilometers away. They can kill with just a thought, like a miracle. Zhang Yi, shocked, said, are you joking? Killing someone from thousands of kilometers away? Could it be some kind of satellite control? Bian Junwu replied, it's even more convenient than that. I only know that anyone targeted will die, no matter where they hide. Zhang Yi said, this can only be explained by metaphysics, right? Bian Junwu responded, you may have heard the phrase, God does not play dice, right? Don't be surprised by things like this. What's more, there's supposed to be a higher level, the Omega Superhuman. This is the 6th level. It's only theoretical since no one has seen such a person since the beginning of time. However, it's hinted that a superhuman with endless potential and limitless growth could exist. Once you reach this level, you might become like a god. Suddenly, Bian Junwu started coughing heavily. Zhang Yi said, Captain Bian, are you okay? Should I call a medic? Junwoo said, "Don't worry, this is just an old issue. I have a terminal illness and only a few days left to live. If it weren't for this, I wouldn't have come as the team lead for this crisis." Zhang Yi replied, "That's surprising. With modern medical advancements, we can even cure cancer these days. What kind of disease can't be cured? My medic is the top healer in Tianhai City. Please, let her examine you. It might help." Junwoo took off his sunglasses and said, "There's no need. I'm a dying man who came here with the hope of helping Jiangnan region in my final days. Once this matter is settled, my wife and kids can live in a better place. That's my goal. My abilities are slowly taking my sight and health. That's why my power is limited to Delta level. Their fatal drawbacks have turned me into a global destruction machine with limited use." Zhang Yi sighed and said, "I didn't expect you to be so blunt with such private information." Junwoo said, "I need your cooperation to confront the zombie crisis in Tianhai City. That's why I have to earn your trust. It's also helpful for us to understand our capabilities. Now you know the limits of my abilities. I'm nearly blind. My vision depends on these goggles. I see you now as a vague figure emitting red light. Now, would you be interested in testing your potential in the Jiangnan region? I can guarantee that with your abilities, you'll be able to reach the Epsilon level in the future." Zhang Yi replied, "I'm just a simple guy with simple wishes. I don't want fame or fortune. Living in peace with the people I care about at the end of days while waiting for the world to return to normal is enough for me." Junwoo said, "Don't turn it down so quickly. The environment in Blizzard City is better than here. You'll be happier there. People live as if nothing ever happened. There are cities, streets, bustling markets, even nightclubs. There are also affordable apartments. It's an experience you won't be able to find here." Zhang Yi said, "Is it more comfortable than the mansion I live in now?" Junwoo replied, "Tianhai City is not a safe place. Beneath it lies the Oriental China Sea. Once the ice breaks, the city will be swallowed in no time. There are also enemies who may come from the other side of the sea. Only the central zones are relatively safer. Have you thought about this?" Zhang Yi responded, "No one can predict the future. Let's wait for that day to come." Junwoo sighed. "I think I've said enough. I won't bother or persist on this matter. But if you feel the need to contact me, you can." He stood up. A few moments later in the living room, Zhang Yi said to Junwoo, "Let's eat together now that you're here." Junwoo shook his head. "Don't worry about us. We've got our military supplies and there's still a lot to do." Turning to his team, he added, "This is enough resting time. Let's move out." His team nodded and said to Zhang Yi and Dr. Joker, "Thank you for your hospitality." Woody looked at Zhang Yi and grinned. "In the future, can we face off in a match?" Junwoo scolded him. "You silly brat. Look at the time. Stop with the nonsense." A few moments later, Dr. Joker whispered to Yang Mi, "That person has a heavy killer aura." Yang Mi nodded. "I sensed it from this far. It doesn't feel like anything we faced before." Zhang Yi added, "Well, I'm glad we're not enemies. Otherwise, we'd be in serious trouble." Yang Xingxin interjected, "But with only 7 people here, it won't be easy to solve the zombie crisis." Zhang Yi turned to her. "Xingxin, what are your thoughts?" Yang Xingxin explained, "The Jiangnan region didn't send them here to solve the zombie crisis outright. They're probably just a vanguard force. Once they identify the causes, they'll likely send more troops for a large-scale attack. When that happens, the entire power dynamic in Tianhai City will change, and we'll be caught in the middle." Zhang Yi considered this. "That's a possibility." Chunlei asked nervously, "When the time comes, they won't kick us out, right?" "There's a chance they might not," Zhang Yi replied. Yang Xingxin added, "Then it might not be so bad. But let's say the expedition team realizes the zombie crisis is too costly to resolve. That would make things even worse." Zhang Yi thought to himself, "Damn, this must be why Junwoo invited me to Blizzard City. He was trying to help me by giving me an escape route. It would be better if the crisis were resolved now, but that's easier said than done." Dr. Joker chimed in. "As we know, both zombies and rats gather underground in such numbers that they've overrun the metro stations. With just us, it's impossible to resist the zombie swarm. Our only chance would be to find the zombie king and eliminate it. There's nothing we can do but wait for the Jiangnan region to assist us. Dear, don't stress yourself. We have enough active resources to hold on." Zhang Yi reflected, "Our fear stems from the unknown. We know too little about zombies. What is the zombie king? Is it a mutated organism that became intelligent, or the evolution of a superhuman?" Chunlei speculated, "Based on their behavior, it seems they're not connected to other organizations." Yang Xingxin cautioned, but we can't be sure. They may have suffered like us, but there's no way to know if they were involved. For instance, the Shishan base conducted human experiments on their own people. It's possible other bases did the same, leading to the rise of zombies. Zhang Yi concluded, let's wait and see. We need to ensure the agents sent by the Jiangnan region are as competent as we think. Their combat expertise, advanced superhumans, and superior technology make them our best hope. Only if they fail should we start planning our next move. Meanwhile, at the Snowflower Cult headquarters, Yuan Kongye turned and asked, what is it this time? Zheng Yishan replied, the Jiangnan region has sent some dangerous individuals. Their leader, Bian Junwu, is someone we should be cautious of. Yuan Kongye frowned. The Jiangnan region, will this affect us? Zheng Yishan nodded grimly. The current situation in Tianhai City will impact the surrounding areas. If they deploy troops, it will hinder our sex development in the future. Bian Junwu added as a warning, if this issue cannot be solved, the Jiangnan region will use its last resource. Yuan Kongye murmured, last resource. Zheng Yishan exclaimed, we cannot just stand still. Yuan Kongye nodded. I'm afraid we're not the only ones concerned about this. Zhang Yi, Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, and Xing Tian all want to avoid that outcome. At the substation, Bian Junwu's teammate observed, it looks like the ground was pierced by a large amount of seawater, which then froze and expanded. Bian Junwu nodded with admiration. Amazing! That guy is a genius. Woody, unimpressed, scoffed. Boss, is it really worth the praise? This looks like a pretty normal method. If I had space-related abilities, I would have figured out how to block this station too. But this guy is only doing this much to ensure his own safety. He hasn't even dealt with the main issue. What's so great about it? Lieutenant Cheng King cut in. Woody, you're as full of yourself as always. Our captain has his reasons for praising him. You need to learn to recognize others' worth. Woody shrugged. I'm not trying to undermine his work, but if I were in his place, I'd have smashed all those zombies myself. Bian Junwu raised an eyebrow. Oh, are you that confident? Of course I am, Woody boasted. Bian Junwu leaned in slightly. But do you even know how powerful the Zombie King is? Woody hesitated. How could I know if I've never seen the thing? Bian Junwu smirked. Well, Zhang Yi and his team took out an entire horde without a single loss. Your obsession with skills is making you miss what's important. It's not just about your abilities, it's about how you use them. Zhang Yi's greatest asset is his mind. Woody rolled his eyes. And what if he's just a smartass? If he needs a partner, he'll still look for a strong fighter. Meanwhile, we're left carrying our own supplies. Bian Junwu chuckled. All right, let's go see for ourselves how the swarm behaves. En route to Yangsheng Base, Lieutenant Chang Qing asked, Captain, where are we headed? To Yangsheng Base, Bian Junwu replied curtly. At Yangsheng Base, the team surveyed the surroundings. Bian Junwu activated his telescope mode. Nearby, Xiao Honglian shouted to her team, quick, move out from there, as a swarm of zombies advanced. Xiao Meng handed Bian Junwu a ration pack. Captain, please eat this. A red-haired man analyzed data on his laptop. Based on intel, the largest attack involved about 10,000 zombies. There must be a limit to how many zombies the Zombie King can control at once. Or perhaps the process of turning corpses into zombies is slower than expected. We could exploit this opportunity to attack their base, eliminate the Zombie King, and disrupt their coordination. Bian Junwu ordered, prepare for an imminent battle. According to Zhang Yi, there are bronze-armored zombies underground, and the Zombie King's abilities remain unknown. Woody scoffed again. Boss, what kind of threat could those dead things pose? The underground is an open space, they won't stand a chance against me. Lieutenant Chang Qing shot him a stern look. Woody, we're not here to fight everything in sight. It doesn't matter how many you kill if the Zombie King escapes. Remember, our goal is the king. Sorry, Woody mumbled. I got carried away. At the metro station entrance, the team disembarked their vehicle and armed themselves. Lieutenant Chang Qing readied his spear while Xiao Meng advanced toward the entrance. Using her clairvoyance skill, she peered into the tunnels. There's a small number of zombies inside, but none have engaged in combat, she said. I can't sense any special individuals yet. Bian Junwu nodded. Let's move. Inside the tracks, Xiao Meng suddenly froze. Found it. There's a larger concentration of zombies up ahead. That must be their base. Bian Junwu asked, did you see their king? Xiao Meng hesitated. The Zombie King. Is that it? She paused, trying to interpret her vision. Sorry, the only thing I saw was a white monkey. A white monkey? Bian Junwu repeated in confusion. Let's clear the area and capture the monkey alive. Bai Li and Wu Di, handle the cleanup. Xiao Meng, keep an eye on the zombies and alert me if there's anything unusual. The rest follow me. The team responded in unison. Yes, sir. Lieutenant Chang Ching charged ahead, his spear emitting a blast that tore through the swarm, carving a clear path. Woody followed suit, unleashing energy spheres that exploded among the zombies. Lieutenant, you're too slow, Woody taunted. Watch how it's done. He charged his powers, forming concentrated balls of energy before firing them with precision, piercing through the horde. Ha ha ha! I'm the emperor of this battlefield, he declared. Suddenly, a bronze-armored zombie emerged and lunged toward them. Woody grinned. So, this is the infamous bronze-armored zombie? Let's see how tough it really is, Bien Junwoo interrupted. Take a break, Woody. Reluctantly, Woody stepped back. All right, I'll leave it to you. Bien Junwoo ordered, You can all take one, as he shot a bronze-armored zombie directly in its eye. The creature flinched but didn't fall. Undeterred, Bien Junwoo kept firing, targeting its body relentlessly. Kong Sheng and Lieutenant Chang Ching charged forward. Kong Sheng leapt onto the zombie, landing a devastating blow that cleaved its shoulder in half. Damn, you're tough, Kong Sheng muttered, gritting his teeth. A black-haired rifleman followed up with a precise shot to the zombie's chest, leaving a gaping hole. In times like these, he said, reloading, a helping hand is a blessing. Bien Junwoo took the opportunity to aim for the zombie's throat. As it staggered, he stepped forward, shoved his gun into its mouth, and finished it with an execution-style shot. Calmly, he blew the smoke from his weapon. Xiao Meng suddenly shouted, Zombies are escaping. The white monkey and 6 bronze-armored zombies are fleeing while the swarm holds us back. Bien Junwoo's expression hardened. Now we can confirm it. The white monkey is the zombie king. The others are just distractions to buy time for its escape. Let's move. We catch him today. As the swarm rushed at them, Bien Junwoo's eyes began to glow gold. An intense light radiated from him, incinerating the zombies into dust. He put his sunglasses back on. Let's catch him. At the Yangsheng base, the zombies near Yangsheng base suddenly halted and began retreating. Xiao Honglian looked around, bewildered. What's going on here? Inside the substation tunnel, the zombie king, riding on the back of a bronze-armored zombie, fled deeper into the tunnel. Bien Junwoo shouted, That's him, catch him alive. The black-haired rifleman peered through his scope and fired a shot, striking the bronze-armored zombie's leg. The zombie king tumbled to the ground, eating pavement as he fell. Lieutenant Chang Ching seized the opportunity, charging forward and pointing his spear at the zombie king's neck. Bien Junwoo approached as the bronze-armored zombie growled and stared him down. So, this is the zombie king, Bien Junwoo remarked coldly. The one who has terrorized Tianhai City with its swarm. Woody crossed his arms. I thought it'd be a stronger foe since it can control so many zombies. What a waste of time. Lieutenant Chang Ching nodded. It makes sense though. The zombie king is the brains behind the swarm, not the muscle. His lack of physical strength aligns with his role as a controller. Xiao Meng added, You could tell he was weak by how cautious he was during every encounter. His body is too fragile. He hides behind the swarm for protection. Without his army, he's just as vulnerable as any human. Bien Junwoo leveled his gun at the trembling zombie king and muttered, Let them destroy themselves. The zombie king screeched in fear, a guttural grrr. Suddenly, a bronze-armored zombie lunged forward to protect the king. Lieutenant Chang Ching laughed, ha ha, and swung his spear with tremendous force, slicing the armored zombie cleanly in half. It was Lieutenant Chang Ching, one of the team murmured, and his superpower, Iron Fist. Bien Junwoo turned back to the zombie king. Trying to play tricks on us? It's over. Without hesitation, he fired a single shot, making a clean hole in the king's head. The team sealed the zombie king's corpse in a body bag. Bien Junwoo observed the aimless movements of the remaining zombies. This is, he muttered. The undead wandered aimlessly, staring blankly at the sky. Bien Junwoo nodded. Zhang Yi was right. Without the zombie king's control, these zombies are nothing more than rotting corpses. The swarm has no intelligence or direction. Xiao Meng agreed. Their numbers don't matter anymore. They're no longer a threat to humanity. Eventually, they'll decay and disappear. The next day in her lab, Xiao Meng worked with a scalpel, muttering to herself, I need to move quickly. Everyone is counting on this research. Later, she presented her findings to the team. I've completed the analysis. This isn't any kind of ape or monkey, it used to be human. The body contains a massive concentration of the zombie virus, which exhibits biotrophic behavior. The king could infect corpses, turning them into zombies and establishing a symbiotic bond to control them. Each attack by the swarm fueled his evolution. He was becoming more powerful with every battle. Lieutenant Chang Ching frowned. That sounds far too human-like. Xiao Meng said, Does this mean we have to eliminate all the zombie kings around Tianhai City to solve the crisis? In theory, yes. Without a zombie king, the swarm becomes harmless. Even millions of corpses would pose no threat. But there's still a problem. If we assume there are multiple kings in Tianhai, where did they originate? Is there some sort of zombie emperor? He paused, then continued. A zombie king is either a mutated corpse or a superhuman. But how did the first zombie king get infected in the first place? Zhao Meng shook her head. It's a tough question to answer. The swarm is enormous, and the conditions are too challenging to trace the virus's origin. I believe the zombie king is just one class of zombie, like ordinary zombies or bronze-armored ones. They may have been created by a higher entity, possibly the first zombie king or an emperor. Their sole purpose could be to command the swarm. Lieutenant Chang Qing added, at least we know that killing a zombie king neutralizes the swarm. That makes our mission simpler, even if the challenge lies in their numbers. Woody sighed dramatically. How many times do I have to keep killing the dead? It doesn't even make sense. I wish we could gather them in one spot and just blast them all with my beams. Chang Qing smirked. It's not that simple, or headquarters wouldn't have sent us. Bien Junwoo nodded thoughtfully. Actually, gathering them in one place for mass elimination is a good idea. Woody beamed. Boss, great minds think alike. You understand my style. But how do we do it? Chang Qing asked. The swarm has spread throughout Tianhai City. Kang Sheng interjected. Gathering them all together would make their numbers terrifying. Bian Junwoo addressed the group. The swarm has been singularly focused on attacking the 5 factions in Tianhai. Whether it's intentional or a need for food is unclear. So why not flip the script? Gather all Tianhai's residents in one area, then launch an all-out attack on the swarm. It would also help me verify my thesis. The others stared at him, startled. Thesis? Woody asked, raising an eyebrow. Boss, did you discover something? Bian Junwoo smirked. Until now, the swarm in Tianhai has expanded outward in small numbers, but most of them remain centralized here. Strange, isn't it? If their instincts drive them to spread the virus, why are they staying in Tianhai, a place with limited resources? Why target the 5 factions instead of moving to other areas? He paused for dramatic effect. I suspect there's a human mastermind behind this. The zombie king might be a puppet for a secret force. If that's true, we need to find and eliminate this underground threat immediately. At Yangsheng Bay's surroundings, a soldier scratched his head. Why does it feel like the zombies got dumber? Xiao Honglian observed the mindless undead and said, I don't know, but it's great news. She watched as soldiers burned the zombies into ashes. Zhuge Qingting approached. Could this be the work of Jiannan's agents? Most likely, Xiao Honglian replied. She thought to herself, was this the meaning behind their sudden appearance? A 7-member team arrived, and within a day, they solved the region's biggest crisis. At Snowflower Cult Lanli, Jian scanned the snowy expanse. Where did that kid Kali go? He muttered, annoyed. His wife frowned. Chaos is still everywhere, and he's being disobedient as always. Suddenly, they saw Yuan Kongye at a distance. To their horror, she was stabbing Lele, who collapsed, bleeding onto the snow. Lele! Li Jian shouted as he rushed forward, but Yuan Kongye raised her hand, using her powers to hurl him back into the snow effortlessly. His wife stood frozen, not moving to help. Yuan Kongye sneered. You're filthy. You need purification. At that moment, Zheng Yishan appeared and wrapped his arms around Yuan Kongye. Your Highness, he murmured. Startled, Yuan Kongye replied, the original sin is unforgivable. I'm helping them cleanse. Zheng Yishan smiled reassuringly. I know, you're always right. Li Jian shouted desperately, Kaile, as Yuan Kongye and Zheng Yishan walked away. Li Jian stumbled back to his injured child. His wife suddenly noticed a figure hiding at a distance. Shu Babel, she called out. What the hell happened here? Weren't you with Kyle? Shu Babel trembled, her body shaking from fear and the cold blizzard storm swirling around them. She couldn't bring herself to respond. Shu Babel said in shock as she trembled, It was not my fault. It was not. After avoiding death, he kissed me, and that is when the priestess saw us. And then, Shay, why does she behave like this? In a different scene, Yuan Kongyi, lying in her comfy bed, said to Zheng Yishan, I have not done anything wrong, have I? Those kinds of perverted acts are inherently evil. I am only guiding them back to the right path. Zheng Yishan said, You are not wrong at all. It is all that kid's fault. There is no room for love at the end of the days. Such impure acts must be forbidden. Yuan Kongye said, Maybe they do not understand how hard I am working for this. If only all the men in the world were like you, there would be no impurity left. Zhong Yixian said, "This world is yours. You can shape it as you want." Yuan Kongyi said, "That kid is Li Jian's child. He will not get emotional over it, will he?" Zhong Yixian said, "I will go and talk to him to make him understand your efforts. I am sure he will understand." In another scene, Kylie said, "I do not want to live anymore." His mother said, "We are a family of 3. We will work hard to get over this." Outside, Li Jian said to Zhong Yixian, "Mr. Zheng." Zhong Yixian said, "Did I not tell you not to avoid your duties? Is your kid fine?" Li Jian said, "His body can heal with time, but the mental damage will never fade away. If a man loses the essence that makes him a man, he will live with shame forever." Suddenly, Zhong Yixian flinched, and he said, "Our cult is a major force that has to manage any issue that may arise. Relationships between men and women can start issues. I am sorry. I do not want to take this out on you. We all must behave in the same way." Li Jian said, "I guess this is the word of the high priest." Zhong Yixian walked away as Li Jian watched him and said to himself, "What kind of bullshit is this? If the followers have to be castrated to benefit the sect, then what is the point of the cult in the first place? In the future, if people cannot reproduce, will we not go extinct?" As Kylie cried with his mother. In another scene, Bian Junwoo looked at the map, and he said, "Let us pick this for our battlefield." The map showed the Snowflower cult, and he said, "Due to their high population, the Snowflower cult sect will be able to gather the zombies' interest. They are also located in the center of the city. Let us ask the other forces to gather and launch an all-out attack. If we all work together, we can exterminate the zombie menace here and now." At Yangsheng Base, Xiao Honglian said, "Got it. We will get there as soon as possible." As Wei Dinghai and Xing Weinan listened to the radio, Bian Junwoo said, "Location selected, St. John Cathedral." At the St. John Cathedral, Zhong Yixian said to Yuan Kongyi, "The Special Operations Team has asked the main forces to gather here. They intend to fight till the end with the zombies here. This is bad for us." Yuan Kongyi said, "Many people will die. Also, gathering them here is a threat to us." Zhong Yixian said, "We better strike first. It would be our end if they realized it." Yuan Kongyi said, "Do what you think is best for our goals. Our gods will not abandon us. They will bless our Snowflower cult." At the shelter's living room, Zhang Yi looked at his phone and said, "St. John Cathedral means they want us to gather at the Snowflower cult territory. Why have they selected such a chaotic place? Hold on. They want us to gather our whole team for this fight. Is this a large-scale conflict? If they are so determined to start a huge war, does it mean they have gathered some important intel?" As he thought, walking back and forth, Yang Xingxin said, "Brother, what is the issue this time?" Zhang Yi said, "Xingxin, just the girl I wanted to see right now. Come here." Yang Xingxin looked at the phone and said, "Brother, this is good news." Zhang Yi said, "Care to explain to me how this is good for us?" Yang Xingxin said, "What does the Snowflower cult have that the other forces do not?" Zhang Yi said, "Well, besides their misery and poverty, they have a big population, so their numbers are their biggest asset." Yang Xingxin said, "Correct. That is their biggest advantage. Their intentions for picking that place for the reunion are also obvious. By gathering the main forces in a populated place, it will attract the zombies in Tianhai City, and they intend to annihilate the zombies there." Zhang Yi said, "If that is how it is, does it not mean they know how to handle the swarm?" Yang Xingxin said, "Given their background as a special operations team, their strength is likely immeasurable. They have more ways to gather intel. They also have the information we have given them, so their knowledge is superior to ours." Zhang Yi said, "About that, the main reason our plan failed was due to our lack of intel on the underground tunnels. We have never seen the Zombie King, so everything is just speculative. That is why we still fear them. I guess it is time to take a look at them," Zhang Yi said. Yang Xingxin said, "Anyway, this big meeting is of no hindrance to us. Let us see what they have in mind." A few moments later, the team gathered in the living room as Uncle Yu Jiguang said, "Is this a war declaration? The human army versus the zombie swarm." Zhang Yi said, "I could not predict how quickly they were moving. I guess that is the advantage of professionals. Still, what matters most is taking care of ourselves. Preserving your life is the main task, got it?" As Uncle Yu Jiguang, teacher Liang Yue, and Chun Lei nodded, Dr. Zhou Care said, "Does this mean that we have to do housekeeping again while you put your lives in danger?" Zhang Yi said, "Those with no practical combat skills should not come. It would be dangerous for us, to a point where we may not be able to protect you." Dr. Zhou Care said, "But you need a medic. If you are hurt, I can treat you." Zhang Yi said, "Do you want to be taken care of on the battlefield? You cannot protect yourself. Do not be naive, sweetheart." Dr. Zhou Care said, "If this were the past me, I would surely be a hindrance. But the me now can be helpful as support. I believe other forces will also bring their supporters into the fight. Uncle Yu Jiguang said, that is right. This time, the whole of Tianhai City is gathering for a war, and it may not end soon. In an all-out war, medics are one of the most important resources during endurance time. Zhang Yi said, okay, you can come with us, but you will hide in the back and will only come out to treat the injured ones. Dr. Zhou Kare blushed and immediately hugged Zhang Yi, saying, understood. Thanks, dear. Lu Karen stood up and said, brother, take me as well. My shooting has improved. Zhang Yi said, have you forgotten that conventional weapons are not effective against zombies? Lu Karen said, ah. Zhang Yi said, only Care is allowed to come. Everyone else stays and keeps guard at the shelter. Outside, Zhang Yi gave Dr. Zhou Kare a gun, and she said, got it. Zhang Yi said, take this for good measure. It is still usable against people. At the Snowflower Cult headquarters, Zhang Yishan said to Bian Junwu and his team, welcome to the Snowflower Cult territory. I wonder what kind of arrangements you have made for this sudden inquiry. Bringing all these forces, it may be wise to give us information so that we can serve you with the utmost hospitality. Wudi said, look at you. In that state, what kind of hospitality can you give us? We are here to fight the zombies, so be quiet. What is wrong? Do you not like how things are going? Maybe you want to practice with me then? Come here, all together I can handle you. Han Chang said, shut the hell up. Do not try to act all high and mighty. We are also strong. Sheng Yishan shouted, Han Chang, be quiet. And he bowed down to Bian Junwu and said, please, do not take it to heart. Mr. Bian, our Snowflower Cult has suffered a lot recently. And due to that, some followers may be too nervous. Wudi waved at them. Bian Junwu said, let us wait for the others to come. Zheng Yishan said, got it. Would you like to enter and rest while you wait? A few moments later, inside, Bian Junwu said to Zheng Yishan, how many victims are here in total? Zheng Yishan said, we did not make the statistics for it, so we can only give you an approximation, which should be around 4,000. Bian Junwu said, 4,000? Then how are you solving your food issue? Feeding thousands of people in these times, I am curious about your management. Zheng Yishan said, we do some sort of treasure hunt in search of supermarkets and department stores that have been buried by the snow. Bian Junwu said, oh, is that it? A few moments later, Wudi said, well, since almost half of the Snowflower Cult is dead, then it should be easier to feed the survivors, right? Han Chang said, freak you. We are not that kind of people. His friend said, yes, do not compare us with those beasts. Wudi said, I mean, you cannot survive just by breathing air, right? Bian Junwu said, you. Bian Junwu and Zheng Yishan said to Wudi, that is enough. Zheng Yishan said, it is true that we are hiding our survival methods, but that is a secret we cannot announce publicly. Bian Junwu said, oh, I see. Zheng Yishan said, if you really want to know, I can show you. Please, follow my lead. Han Chang said, High Priest, are you sure about this? Zheng Yishan said, it does not matter. This is the special operations team from Jiangnan. They will not disrespect us. A few moments later, in another building, Chang King said to Bian Junwu, Captain, there is a strong blood odor coming from inside. Bian Junwu said yes, and he said to himself, after losing sight, my other senses have become stronger. I think the building in front of me is comparable to a ferocious monster. Zheng Yishan said, gentlemen, this is our Snowflower Cult's trademark secret. Do you still want to see it? Wudi said, stop playing tricks. Inside, they saw a fruit-bearing tree. Bian Junwu said, is this what you have been feeding your followers? Zheng Yishan said, yes, this is a mutant plant that we call the blood vine. She picked up a fruit and continued, it has strong vitality and can absorb the nutrients of its environment, transforming them into these fruits. Zheng Yishan said, this red fruit is a very important resource to us. Rest assured, this fruit is safe. We have been eating it for months and nobody has gotten food poisoning. As Bian Junwu looked at the fruit, he then said, that does make sense. But can the fruit it produces really be enough to feed thousands of people? Zheng Yishan said, they would not be enough, but there are ways to speed up its production. For example, this, and he pointed at the tree. Xiao Meng was shocked and said, this is a human? Are you using human bodies as nutrients to make it bear fruit? Zheng Yishan said, to be exact, these are human remains. A few moments later, they walked inside the central area of the building, and they saw a huge tree. Zheng Yishan said, may the pioneers become the hope of the survivors. Their flesh and blood shall be the source of our sustenance. Wudi said, how is this any different from cannibalism? Zhao Meng said, there is a difference. At the very least, this method prevents prion infections, and from a psychological standpoint, it is easier to accept. Zheng Yishan said, everyone, This is the greatest secret of the Snowflower cult. It concerns the survival of our thousands of followers. So please, I ask for your help in keeping this confidential. Bien Junwoo tossed the fruit to Woody and said, "Do not worry, we will keep your secret." Woody accidentally caught the apple and tossed it to his friend, saying, "Oh, what bad luck. Take it away. I do not want it either. Someone else can have it." As Bien Junwoo and his team walked away, Jung Yixian said, and followed them. A few moments later, outside, Bien Junwoo said to Jung Yixian, "I have heard rumors about your cult leader. Even some high-ranking officials in the larger regions are interested in her abilities. I would like to meet her. Please arrange it as soon as possible." Jung Yixian said, "Please wait a moment. I will inform the leader," and he walked back to the church. Woody said, "I cannot shake the feeling that there is something sinister about this Snowflower cult." Kong Sheng said, "That is not surprising. Any organization operating in the form of a religious group is bound to have some peculiar aspects." Xiao Meng said, "Still, the fact that the Snowflower cult has survived this long and managed to keep so many followers alive proves that it possesses great power." Chang Qing said, "Captain, are the higher-ups really this interested in Yuan Kongye?" Bian Junwoo said, "When we arrived, someone from above did mention looking into her abilities. If the intelligence is accurate, if she can grant people supernatural abilities without any cost, then they will definitely want her." Chang Qing said, "That is indeed a power that anyone would long for." Bian Junwoo said, "It is not as simple as it seems." Chang Qing said, "Oh? What do you mean?" Bian Junwoo shook his head and said, "When people seek a certain power, they must always pay an equivalent price. Most awakenings of supernatural abilities happen on the brink of life and death. It is essentially trading one's life for power. But her ability is said to allow people to awaken supernatural powers without any cost. Does such an easy deal really exist in this world?" Chang Qing said, "I highly doubt it too." Bian Junwoo said, "They have considered this issue as well. Their research on the superhuman phenomenon has been ongoing for a long time, and they all agree that Yuan Kongye's ability is simply too unbelievable. That is why we need to investigate her ability while we are here, to see if it is truly as miraculous as the rumors claim." Chang Qing said, "And if it turns out to be exactly as described?" Bian Junwoo said, "If that is the case, then from a strategic standpoint, her ability is no less significant than level 5 epsilons. I am only saying it is a possibility. But as for this Yuan Kongye, we still do not fully understand her power, so we cannot make any conclusions yet." A few moments later, Yuan Kongye and Jung Yixian came out. Bian Junwoo walked toward them as Chang Qing said to himself, "Is that Yuan Kongye? Could she really be what the higher-ups suspect? A strategic-level existence?" A few moments later, they rushed toward Bian Junwoo. Chang Qing said, "Captain, what do you think? Is Yuan Kongye actually on epsilon level?" Bian Junwoo said, "I cannot make a judgment about superhumans just by looking at them. However, this girl is definitely suspicious." Zhao Meng said, "What is suspicious about her?" Bian Junwoo pointed at his head and said, "This." Xiao Meng said, "Her mind is not normal? Well, that actually makes sense." Chang Qing said, "After all, when it comes to religious figures, they are either swindlers after money or devout lunatics." Bian Junwoo said, "Anyway, we will assess her ability slowly later. Once we have dealt with the zombie problem, we will have plenty of time to handle this. For now, we have a more pressing matter to discuss." As Xiao Honlian, Wei Dinghai, and Xing Weinan arrived, a few moments later, Zhang Yi and Dr. Zhou Kei arrived as well. Zhang Yi said, "Stay by my side and do not go anywhere. I will arrange a safe place for you later." Dr. Zhou Kei said, "I will do whatever you say." Zhang Yi said to Xing Weinan, "How did you guys arrive even later than us?" Xing Weinan said, "There was a lot to take care of in the factory. Unlike you, we do not have the luxury of being carefree, though having fewer people does have its advantages." A few moments later, inside, Zhang Yi looked at Yuan Kongye and said to himself, "That is, I guess she must be the leader of the Snowflower cult, Yuan Kongye. I did not expect her to be so young." Xing Weinan said, "She is so young, barely older than a teenager." Zhang Yi said, "Dear guest, please watch your words and restrain your animalistic nature." Xing Weinan said, "What the hell are you talking about? You know me, I have been a MILF lover since childhood." Zhang Yi said, "I never said you were wrong. Lacking motherly love is not exactly a crime." Xing Weinan said, "You little." As Bian Junwoo cleared his throat, he then said, "Last night we took down a zombie king. As it turns out, once the zombie king is killed, the entire zombie horde falls into chaos, and the swarms of rats that move with them turn into headless chickens." Xiao Honlian said to himself, "So it is just as we suspected." Bian Junwoo said, That means the key to solving the zombie crisis in Tianhai City is eliminating every zombie king controlling the zombies, Xing Wenan said. What exactly is a zombie king? Can you explain in detail? Bian Junwoo said, of course. And he opened the bag. He then said, this is a zombie king. Wei Dinghai stood up in shock as Xiao Honglian said to herself, this thing is the zombie king? It just looks like an ordinary white-furred monkey. Bian Junwoo said, the zombie king commands zombie hordes and has intelligence comparable to a human, but its actual combat ability is weak. Zhang Yi said, it sounds somewhat like a swarm. The broodmother possesses intelligence and can spawn more zombies, but it has little direct combat capability itself. Bian Junwoo said, the zombie hordes appear daily and attack humans, but the zombie king itself stays hidden deep in the subway tunnels since it is too fragile to risk exposure. That is why we need someone outside to lure the zombie army while an elite team infiltrates the tunnels and kills the zombie king to solve the zombie horde problem. Without the zombie king's guidance, those zombies will be easy to deal with. No matter how many there are, they will not pose a big threat. Zhong Yishan said, so you are saying you want to use the entire Snowflower cult as bait? Draw the zombies here while you go underground to kill the zombie king? As he grinned in anger. Wei Dinghai said, you two, do not get so excited. Look at Tianhai City. Your cult has the largest population. Using this location as the battlefield is the most logical choice. Bian Junwoo said, I will not deny that it sounds cold-hearted, but this was definitely a factor in our decision. Besides, unlike the other 4 organizations, your cult does not have advanced defensive systems. That said, you do not need to worry too much. Right now, all major armed forces are gathered here, ensuring your safety as much as possible. Zhong Yixian said, but would not all the zombies in Tianhai City be gathered here? Bian Junwoo said. If everything goes as planned, that is the ideal outcome. We all want to end this crisis in one decisive battle. Zhong Yixian said, and what about the lives of our cult members? Do you think their lives are expendable? Xiao Honglian said, Zhong Yixian, try to be rational for once. Think carefully. If we do not use this strategy, will your entire cult not be wiped off the map anyway? Even if the other organizations are pushed to the brink, they still have one last resort, sealing themselves inside their bunkers. With those defenses, no matter how many zombies there are, they will not break through. But you? With so many people and only these flimsy barricades, how long do you really think you can last? Zheng Yixian said, that still does not justify using us as bait. Bian Junwoo said, oh, then tell me, do you have a better plan? We traveled all the way from Jinling to stand with you against this crisis. Right now, all 7 of us are here. Every armed force from every organization is here. If your followers are bait, then what about us? Are we not bait too? Think about it. Have I ever asked you to face this alone? Zhang Yi stood up and said, you need to understand, we are the ones fighting on the front lines. If anyone dies first, it will be us. Every armed force is here to protect your people and you still have complaints? Zheng Yixian stood up and said, Mr. Bian, you must give us a battle plan that we can trust, Bian Junwoo said. Do not worry, I have already thought it through. The strategy was originally to encircle the zombies and intercept reinforcements, but now it feels more like luring them in with bait and striking when they take the bite. Zhang Yi said to himself, oh great, so we are the bait to lure the zombies in, huh? Jing Weinan said, more or less. This is a massive trap just waiting for the zombie hordes to step into it. Bian Junwoo said, since they are being led by creatures with low intelligence, as long as we use the right strategy, they will not be too hard to deal with. Zhang Yi said, sounds simple enough, but if we draw every zombie in Tianhai City here, how many are we talking about? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even more. And we are supposed to hold them off with just the people we have here, using defenses that are barely functional? That is an enormous amount of pressure. Bian Junwoo said, that is why we will all need to fight with everything we have. This is about protecting your home. Zheng Yishan said, and what if someone deliberately holds back, letting us take the brunt of the casualties? What then? Xiao Honglian said, Zheng Yixian, stop being so paranoid. When a massive zombie horde is charging at us, who would dare hold back? Bian Junwoo said, so, do you have any other opinions? Yuan Kongye said, while attracting the zombies, I want to ensure the safety of non-combatants, especially the children. Bian Junwoo said, no problem. Where is the safest place in your area? We can clear out a space to shelter those who cannot fight. Anyone under 14, excluding those who are exactly 14, can stay there. Everyone else must assist in defending against the zombie onslaught. As Xiao Honglian and Wei Dinghai looked at each other, Yuan Kongye prayed and said, then let us use the church as a refuge. God will protect his faithful. Bien Junwoo said, this battle could last a long time. It will not be over in a day or two. Everyone must be prepared for a prolonged fight. Zhang Yi said to himself, we have enough snowmobiles and supplies to sustain us, so time is not a major concern. But I need to find a way to get care into the temporary shelter that the Snowflower cult is setting up. Zhang Yi approached Yuan Kongye and said, Miss Cult Leader, there is something I need to trouble you with. Zhang Yi Xian suddenly stepped between them and said, Mr. Zhang Yi, what is it? Please speak, and I will do my best to assist. Zhang Yi said to himself, Zhang Yixian's overprotectiveness toward Yuan Kongye is really something else. Zhang Yishan said, our leader is fully devoted to serving God. She has no time for trivial matters. Zhang Yi said, it is like this. I have someone with me, a highly skilled doctor. She is my girlfriend, but she is not a superhuman and has no combat ability. I would like her to stay with your cult leader for safety. Would that be all right? Zhang Yixian said, Mr. Zhang Yi, please be mindful of how you address our leader. Zhang Yi said, my bad. I assumed someone serving God would not care about worldly formalities. Yuan Kongye said, of course, that is fine. The fact that you would bring your girlfriend to the battlefield shows how seriously you take this war. You're even willing to put her at risk. Besides, doctors are crucial in times like these. Let her stay in the church with us. Zhang Yi said, see, now that's a reasonable leader. All right, then it's settled. With her here, I'll do everything I can to protect her safety. The church's protection benefits all of us. Zhang Yi walked away. A few moments later, Zhang Yishan said to Yuan Kongye, he really is the biggest wild card in Tianhai City. I just hope he doesn't become our enemy. Outside, Zhang Yi suddenly stopped and said to himself, wait, is that Li Jian? What's he doing here? And in the robes of a Snowflower cult priest, did he just leave to avoid suspicion? At Zhang Yi's Hummer, Zhang Yi said to Dr. Zhou Care, get some rest in the car with Liang Yu. Once the battle begins, I'll take you to the church. The cult leader is there. They'll do everything in their power to defend that place. If we need medical assistance, we'll come to you. Dr. Zhou Care said, got it, no problem. Zhang Yi said, also, there are a few things I need you to remember. Zhang Yi looked left and right, and he opened the door to his Hummer. Inside, Zhang Yi said to Dr. Zhou Care, that Yuan Kongye isn't an ordinary person. She can awaken people's abilities, but I don't fully trust her power. Listen carefully. If she ever offers to awaken your abilities, you must refuse. Understand, nothing in this world comes for free. Every so-called gift of fate already has a hidden price. If you get greedy, you'll eventually pay for it. Dr. Zhou Kara said, all right, I get it. Geez, do you really not trust me that much? Zhang Yi said, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I care too much about you. One more thing, I need you to keep an eye on Yan Kongye for me. As Uncle Yu Jiguang and Chun Lei listened to Zhang Yi and Dr. Zhou Care in the car, Dr. Zhou Care said, you think there's something wrong with her? Zhang Yi said, her very existence is a problem. Just watch her closely and report everything back to me. Dr. Zhou Care said, no problem. A few moments later, Xing Weinan said to Zhang Yi, everyone is busy setting up defenses. The zombie horde could arrive at any moment, so you should get familiar with the area quickly. I've brought everything I've got. This is a battle we can't afford to lose. Damn it, I just hope that old bastard Bien Junwoo isn't setting us up. Zhang Yi said, let's just focus on the fight. At this point, trusting them seems to be our only option. Zhang Yi looked at the building and said to himself, this will do. It's close to the front line and the rooftop should offer a great vantage point. A few moments later, a cultist held Zhang Yi and his team saying, this is a forbidden area of our Snowflower sect. Please leave, Zhang Yi said. Forbidden area? You guys read too many wuxia novels or what? The cultist said, we can't explain this to you, Mr. Zhang. Please don't make things difficult for us. Zhang Yi said, fine, your place, your rules. I'll find another spot. In another building, Zhang Yi and his team climbed up the stairs. As Chun Lei, tired, said, wouldn't it be easier to just use spatial teleportation? Climbing up step by step is such a hassle. Zhang Yi said, I will when no one's looking. But I can't afford to reveal that ability so easily. A few moments later, at the top of the building, Zhang Yi said to himself, not bad. Except for a few blind spots, I've got nearly full coverage from here. Zhang Yi said, all right, I'll hold this position. You guys stay inside the building. We're not on the front lines, so we can adapt as needed. In a different scene, Li Jian said to himself, should I tell Zhang Yi what I know and hope he helps us escape? And he said to Kaylee, son, another fight is coming. The zombies could attack at any moment. Come with us. Kaylee said, I'm not leaving. Just go, all of you. Where's Bei Bei? She dislikes me, right? That must be the case. Ah! Li Jian said to himself, the snowflower cult has twisted my son into this. Staying here is pointless. Maybe I should try reaching out to Zhang Yi and his people. At night, Zhang Yi suddenly woke up, and he looked outside and said to himself, only that one building is heavily guarded. No one is allowed near it. Something's definitely going on there. Zhang Yi opened a dimension and went in. He entered the building and said to himself, so this is the secret of the snowflower cult's forbidden area? But what exactly is this plant used for? Is it a food source, or does it serve some other purpose? And he used his skill to be 8 times the speed of a human. And he said to himself, this mysterious plant is clearly related to supernatural abilities. Best not to touch it with bare hands. He then cut the tree as it bled, and he said to himself, could this be a world tree? Looks like I made the right call coming here. No doubt about it, this is a major secret of the snowflower cult. Now, should I keep investigating further? I can't let this chance slip away. As he took out a fruit, and he shook it and said to himself, good, no reaction, or put it away quickly. And he looked at the cocoons and said, hope there's nothing nasty inside. I might as well go all the way, as he cut the cocoon and took it into his secret space. And he ran to his portal and said, get it done and leave fast. The next day, Zhang Yi said to the other leaders, the zombie horde has suddenly stopped moving. Either they were retreating, or they had noticed our actions and were secretly plotting something. Now I have to consider the possibility that the zombie king is much smarter than we thought. Xiao Honglian said, their level of coordination is too high. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was secretly directing them. If they refuse to make a move, are we just supposed to sit and wait? Zhang Yi said, not exactly. The base has been unusually quiet. Our people have moved underground, but the surface surveillance shows no sign of the horde. Could this be a result of killing one of the zombie kings? Bian Junwu said, this is only the beginning. The horde may still be observing us. The best thing we can do now is to wait patiently. It's like fishing. It's about who has more patience, the fisherman or the fish. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.